Bloody hell, Andrew, I've just picked up a dictionary in front of me and I see that Gary YouTube is now officially a dictionary-worthy term. Let me read out to you what it says. You are a Gary YouTube if you do the basic bitch stuff the rest of the YouTubers do on the YouTube. It's also a verb which can be used in a sentence like this. I'm aware to do some Gary YouTubing. Just like this tier ranking video that was the dictionary. I am Gary YouTube from Cultaholic Wrestling, joined by Christopher Daniels of AEW to discuss some AEW finishers. How are you doing, Christopher Daniels?
Oh, I'm fine and dandy. I've been practicing all my finishes for you, Ross.
The best moonsault ever?
Yes, I do have one of them. I've got some nice other moves as well that we might even talk about. We'll see.
I hope so. I've included a lot. How many have we got here today? Christopher. We have, in total, 59 different finishes from the women's division, the men's division, and the tag team division. Obviously, not every single AEW finisher from all of the shows that AEW do are not here today. So if your favourite's not here, I'm very sorry. I've tried to include all of the big ones, but let's get cracking with the knacking with this tier list ranking malarkey. Hit the intro, please, Samuel. So just in case you haven't been here before, of course, we're going to put these finishers into several tiers, ranking from, and I still have to read it out for some reason, the best, lovely, all right, just about bearable, and get in the bin, Christopher Daniels. And I'm going to apologise now for a few of the pictures you're about to see in this tier ranking video, because to be honest with you, I've tried to take some proper, whoa, gnarly dude action shots while the moves are happening, and they look absolutely terrible. But we are starting off, Andrew, with Adam Page's buckshot lariat.
Ross, let me tell you now, if this isn't one of my favourite finishing moves of all time, I don't know what is. And just straight away, I don't think there's any other place it can go other than the best.
I'm going to go in the best, but I'm going to hit you with something shocking that I have said on the channel before, but something you probably haven't heard, Andrew. JBL's clothesline from hell is my favourite finisher of all time. You get the combination of JBL's clothesline from hell where he just hits someone really, really hard for real, and then you get JR reacting in the way JR does when something devastating like that happens, and it makes me aroused. It's fantastic. It's a lovely combination.
It is. I don't think there's anyone that makes a clothesline look more real than JBL, is there? Really?
And I was just mentioning JBL because in the pantheon of clotheslines, I reckon, he's the jacket's off already. It's starting to get serious.
I'm ready. Whoa.
The buckshot lariat is not at the level of a JBL clothesline from hell, but who knows, it could be one day.
Maybe one day. There's still time. Just you wait until we get that world title match between him and Kenny Omega. The one that he's going to connect with on Kenny Omega is going to be, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to be so good.
I hope it does, and especially that just after he kicks out of the one-winged angel, which will happen for the first time ever in the history of the world. Unless Kota Ibushi exists, of course, which he does, which means that entire thing's a lie. Anyway, I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you, Andrew. Why am I saying that? Because Big Swole's move is called Dirty Dancing. Is that the right film? I've got no idea. It sounds like it's right, so I'll go with it. But this is sort of a rip card. She does a rip cord. A rip card. It's a rip card thing. She does a spinneroonie on her feet, though, so it's not quite a spinneroonie. She just spins around on her feet and delivers a massive forearm to the Chinsalicious. Thoughts on the old Dirty Dancing?
I quite like it. I think it's anything sort of that has a ripcord before it makes it seem a bit more brutal, which I know it's just like a little, gesture kind of thing, but I think it looks all right. I don't think it's the best. I think it's okay.
I think it's okay as well. I do like the fact that she not only delivers a ripcord, or does a ripcord, I should say, to her opponent, but for some reason she spins around as well. So there's double ripcord action going on during that move.
It's just like Beyblade. Do you remember Beyblade, Ross?
Do I remember Beyblade? Me and my brother would play a game where we would let the Beyblade off. No, let the Beyblade off and then put your knuckles down and then see who could take the most pain.
Oh, what are you?
A monster.
Who are you? A monster?
Yeah, a Beyblade monster. I didn't know anything about the Beyblades. Is there anything to know? There were just spinning tops that fight. Is that all?
I never watched the anime when I was a kid, but I just wanted the thing that had caused the most destruction, which was just a spinning top that had metal on it.
Yeah.
What an invention. Good that.
Coming soon to cultaholicshop.com. Anyway, I'll go all right. Bearable or all right. It's in that range, I reckon.
Yeah, I think all right, because it still looks pretty good, but it's not like.
And especially when just a forearm. I say just a forearm. She's doing two kinds of ripcords as well. It's more than just a forearm, isn't it? So
it is.
And a forearm is a move that lots of wrestlers do, I guess, and that sort of makes that a little bit less special than it might be.
I agree.
There you go. There's some wrestling analysis for you. And now we have John Silver and Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order, who do what I can only describe as liquid wrestling, because
literally, Ross, you see my notes here? I've literally wrote liquid right there. You see
bloody
that?
hell.
Liquid.
Amazing, that, isn't it? Who would have thought, eh?
Great minds think alike.
But I tell you what, just in case, I don't know if anyone else at home might think this, but I was thinking, I know a fair bit about wrestling. Don't know the most in the world about wrestling, but I know a fair bit about today's wrestling.
Yes.
In terms of finisher names, though, in AEW, it turns out I don't know anything. So in putting this list together of all the finisher moves, I flicked on loads of episodes of AEW Dark on the YouTube, and it's shocking how little Excalibur and Taz actually say the finisher move names. And I'm thinking, if there's one place those names would be said, surely it's by the commentators. But no, at the end of the match, it's always just, ow! Silver and Reynolds have done some stunning offense there. Wow, 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Use the move names, man, for goodness sake. So this one, we have the punch from Reynolds, I think it is. Then it's a kick from Silver, a stunner from Reynolds, into a German from Silver. Yes. Is that the right way around?
That's the right way around. That is the right way around. And it's just liquid techers, Ross.
It is. Whoa. It's so fluid each and every time they do it. And there's lots of finishing moves for the Dark Order, but I saw 2 dark matches where they use this as the finishing move, so therefore it must be the default finisher. I think this goes in lovely, lovely, lovely.
Yes, me too, without a doubt. They just keep on getting better as well to the Dark Order, especially like Silver's just been absolutely dominating. It's been so good to see. And yeah, just the way that they all flow together. And there's so many of them as well, and so many combinations you can have within the Dark Order. But like, just everything they do together is almost perfect, Ross. Almost perfect.
Yeah, it's maybe what's. I'm just trying to think what's keeping it out the best here. Is it just because they're using moves that are otherwise a bit, more wrestlers do it than not?
I mean, yeah, like I guess we've seen that. We've seen tag teams just do that as part of a regular match rather than just a finish, I suppose. But they just make it look really good.
It's flawless. I've not, no doubt somebody in the comments down below will have seen it botched delicious, but I've never seen it botched whatsoever. It's always fluid each and every time. But now we move on to Dark Order as the whole, and a move that I hadn't seen until I put together this tier ranking thingy, and it's what Taz christened on Dark, the Pecker Dipper. Now, I'm not sure if in the Red Hook district of New York or wherever he's from, Taz, that a pecker is what a pecker is to you and I, Andrew, but to me and you, I assume that a pecker is a willy.
It's one of them.
It's a little willy. So a pecker dipper for a wrestling move is quite funny, really. But as you'll see by the picture that's undoubtedly on the screen right now, the 2 of the Dark Order members sort of hold up the opponent in sort of like a Jesus Christ pose, let's just say. And then John Silver just sort of runs, because he's small, of course, John Silver, runs towards the feet, which are obviously elevated off the floor, flips them around, he does a big impressive flip, and that's the move there, and it's fantastic.
It's so good. It's such a weird, it's such a weird one as well. It's really unique.
It looks fun to take.
Seen that before.
A wrestling finisher should never look fun to take, obviously, because when you hit the wrestling mat, it'll hurt very much. But if I want a bouncy castle, I'd take that move all day long. It looks like a right laugh to take, do you not think?
It looks like... this is probably a stupid comparison now, but it looks like, where you get the bins that just have the lids where you can, smack it dead hard and it just keeps going. It's just like one of them.
What should we call it then? Because we can't call it the Pecker Dipper as 2 Northern Englishmen. We have to call it the bin lid.
Bin lid.
Yeah, the
bin lid flip.
Lovely, 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 or the best, I'm saying. I'm going there straight away. Unless you disagree.
I'm going to... just because of some of the other ones on this list, I don't think I'll go in the best. I'll go lovely, lovely, lovely.
We'll go
Because I think
lovely,
it is
lovely,
really
lovely.
good.
It is lovely.
Yeah.
It looks a barrel of laughs. Like Hogan.
does.
You know when Undertaker dragged Hogan around by his ankles on the motorcycle back in the day?
Yeah.
It's meant to look devastating, but it just looked fun. And I think that move looks a barrel of laughs anyway. Now moving on to another segment of the Dark Order, we have Stu and Evil Uno delivering their customary finisher, let's say, the Fatality, which is basically a supported blockbuster kind of thing. Good, innit?
It's cool. It looks good. Like, I think did they get him in like almost a gory palm position and then whip, flip straight over?
Stu goes over. Disco Stu goes over the top.
Disco Stu.
I should have called you Disco. You look more like Stu Grayson than you do.
I think I've had that a few times, Stu Grayson.
It's a massive
And
mess
I'll
on
take
my
that.
part.
I like him.
He's a
I like
handsome
Stu
man.
Grayson. He is. What are you trying to say?
You're a handsome man.
Well, come on now. I'm nowhere near that level. Just a bald idiot, Ross.
What are you saying though for the Fatality?
I like this one a lot. I think maybe out of all of the Dark Order's finishes, I think this is the best one. And I might just put it in the best, Ross.
That's a shocking turn of events on the tier list ranking stuff. I never thought you'd put that in the best.
I think I'd really like it.
Especially after
really
the bin
like
flip.
it. Well, the bin flip is fantastic, right? But this has just got a bit more. It looks as though it looks like a proper wrestling move, is what I should say. I guess it looks more like classic tag team maneuver, and I like that quite a bit.
They are two old-fashioned... Well, is a blockbuster's an old-fashioned move. They are two old-fashioned moves put together, aren't they? But I'll go with that, Andrew. The Fatality is in the best. Moving on now to Shanna, who hasn't been appearing on AEW all too much recently because of travel restrictions and whatnot. I think she's just moved over to America, so hopefully we'll see her more going forwards because she is very good at the wrestling. But her finisher is a tiger suplex, which is where you basically hook the arms, do a German suplex, and then because the arms are hooked, they can't go... kick out. Not pin, kick out.
Getting there.
Yeah, I know wrestling.
You know wrestling. We know wrestling here. It's it's a fine maneuver for a finisher because we've seen that quite a few times as well. It's okay, but then I've also seen her do it and it not be the best either, as in like not as executed very well sometimes.
How so, Andrew?
Just like when she goes over, there's a little bit of, and I get it sometimes, like people don't land perfectly where you want them to sometimes, but sometimes there's a lot of like, shuffling about to get them back into the position. Whereas you want it kind of just looking just as liquid as anything, don't you? Straight over, get them in the pin, then you're done. Especially for a finisher when you want it to look more devastating. Yeah.
I don't think this one needs to look devastating to me. I think it's a tactical finisher. It's like
I guess so.
I'm going to pin your arms down so you can't move your arms. It's quite clever, really, isn't it? It's quite simple.
I guess it is.
Yeah. So I'm going to suggest that we move down Big Swole's Dirty Dancing because I reckon this is all right tier, but it's a tier above Dirty Dancing. If that makes any sense to you whatsoever.
No, it does. Yeah, I get what you mean there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go for
that.
I like a finisher with brains, me, and that one's saying like I'm going to try and pin your shoulders down without breaking my own body or doing something that would be... And again, it's the thing all the old-timers say about wrestling finishes, isn't it? It's a good finisher is one that can be hit on anybody. And just about anybody could have this finisher hit to them.
That's true. That's
yes,
true.
It is.
But also, I don't have a go at me, Ross. Come on now. I've seen her do that move to some of the bigger women on the roster as well. And I guess that's maybe where I'd sort of disagree a little bit with you because she seems to struggle doing that move a little bit to the bigger women on the roster. But I'll go with you. Don't you worry. I'll go on this journey with you, Ross.
To come back at you, Andrew, let's have a fight. I would say this is a maneuver that takes two to tango. So if she's not getting them up properly, I would say that's a little bit in fault because I obviously know how wrestling works with my 10-year stint in New Japan Pro Wrestling in the 90s. So it takes two to tango with a German suplex kind of thing like that. So that's what I would say to counterpoint your argument. Yeah.
No, I completely. Well, I didn't think of it that way, so I'll go with you. I agree with you there. Go on then. I'll give you that one.
So that's in all right. Are we settled on that?
Yes, we'll say that one's all right. I reckon.
Angelica, and he called him Angelica there.
Angelica.
I was watching the Rugrats this morning. Angelico is back with what is called, apparently, Cruceta Invertidas. Which to you and me is a spinning knee ankle thing with a knee bar and an ankle lock locked in at the same time. And it looks absolutely devastating, so it does.
It does. And then when he just like spins and He's clever. He does a big old slam, so it sounds like it's proper. Oh, it's going to hurt them knees. And then he gets straight into the ankle lock. I think that's great. I think it's really, really good.
As we all know, Angelico is a long man with long limbs. And
Yes.
he uses these long limbs to his advantage, doesn't he? If John Silver, God love him, if John Silver tried this move, it might not look as devastating because he's very short, isn't he? But it's just the fact that Angelico's arms go on for years. That it just looks like he can just tie people up harder than other people might do. It's a weird thing in my brain. It might make sense to you at home. It might not. But I'm going to say this one, in terms of a submission move in the wrestling, lovely, 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 I reckon.
I'd go for that as well. And it's, again, that one's quite unique, isn't it? We haven't really seen much of the whole the spinnies and then into something else.
He is just unique, full stop, isn't he, Angelico?
He is. It's so good. I feel like he's not used enough.
It is strange, isn't it, how little both of them, him and Jack Evans, have been utilised. But speaking of Jack Evans, by the way, the Fall of Angels, I think its official name is. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. Lots and lots of somersaults. I think it's a 6:30. It might be a bit more. It might be a bit less. I got to see in maths at GCSE.
He's got no sense of gravity, that boy. It just doesn't.
Hey,
it just doesn't apply to him.
It, you know what I'm saying?
Whoa!
Hey.
Tooting on the routing. Come on now.
Right then, so it is just, I say it is just as if it's easy. It's a 6:30. I don't know why I said just there. It's a very impressive maneuver. Where do you think it goes? Because obviously we see Ricochet doing it in WWE and other places like that. So
I think
why
lovely,
that's
lovely,
relevant,
lovely.
I've got no idea, but I've said it anyway.
He said it anyway. I'm going lovely, lovely, lovely. Because a 6:30 always looks so good. When they land on someone, it looks like it hurts big time. And it's just impressive. Like the momentum when they go up and then they come down and then they hit hard. I think it looks brill. And it's a good because you've got Angelico there with the submission stuff, and then you've got Jack Evans doing all the flippy stuff, and it works well.
It does work well. Why aren't they used more? Tell us, give us a reason so news sites can write about it. Straight from you, wrestling journalist Andrew Hodgkinson.
I don't think I'm allowed to be classed as that, bro.
People do class us as that, Andrew, and I find it hilarious. Go on, just say something.
What do you want me to say?
The reason why Angelico and Jack Evans aren't utilised more in AEW.
Because they're scared that if they are, they'll hold every single belt in wrestling forever.
There you go, Dave Meltzer. Moving on now to the Acclaimed, who have a couple of big finishing moves. One is called Acclaim to Fame, where Bowens does sort of a brainbuster thingy, and then Caster does Shawn Michaels' elbow off the top ropington. Pardon me. I've just necked a can of cream soda before I came on here, and I regret it dreadfully. Bloody hell. Just the burps, they're relentless. Anyway, we'll go with Critically Acclaimed, it's called. Bowens sort of gets the opponent up in a reverse torture rack, I'll call it, and then Caster comes in with a kick, and then Bowens swings around with the kick after the impact, and then plants them down on their face. Another liquid wrestling maneuver.
It is. The tag teams in AEW have good finishing maneuvers. Like a lot of them, while I was doing a little bit of research just to make sure, I was like, he knows what this one is. A lot of them are so good. And this one, again, is no exception. Just really, really good. Comes in with high drop kick, like a little bit of that, and then just hoys them round. Can't go wrong with it, Ross.
It must be hard to come up with a tag team finisher, but somehow, some way, AEW's tag team all have like tag team tandem finishers that don't try too hard, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, no, like every move, some of them seem like they should have been, and they probably have been done before at some point, but like it almost seems like a no-brainer when you see one like, oh yeah, those two moves actually do go together. Like it just works so well.
Yeah. What's the Good Brothers? Not Magic Killer, the other one.
Oh,
it's a bit like that.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? I've completely.
I know
gone
what you
blank
mean.
here.
I've completely gone blank as well.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Yes.
Go on then. We'll go in there. Go
Get
on then. And now we're going on to one that I'm just going to put straight in the top, in the best, because I don't care what you say, Andrew. I hope you agree. We have Chuck Taylor's awful waffle. It starts off like he's going to hit a Blue Thunder bomb, but where Sami Zayn would plant them down like a power bomb, he just drops them on his head.
Unreal. Sometimes it sounds bad. Sometimes I go on YouTube, Ross, and just watch that move over and over again because like that person's dead. Who's just done that to you? They're not alive anymore. Like it's such a good move.
Don't feel ashamed about that. I do the same with JB. There's a JBL Clothesline from Hell compilation, which has got all JR. There's a one where I talked about this on the podcast not too long ago. I think it's SummerSlam 2000 or 2001. Shane McMahon is running around the side of the ring, and JBL just comes out. It's APA Bradshaw just comes out of nowhere and just flatters him. JR just shouts, "How do you do?" And it just gets me every time. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, that's in the top. I don't care what you say, Tom. It's a fantastic finishing maneuver.
It is.
I don't think anything else needs to be said. Now we'll move on to Tay Conti, who does. Is it Ty? I always get this wrong. Ty Conti. I beg my pardon.
Is it Ty? Yeah, Ty.
Ty Conti. TCO. She has them on her back and the arms are hooked in there in a gory bomb position again, I would guess. That's a gory bomb, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a gory bomb,
I've gone blank here again. Swings them around for some reason and then does a knee to the head. Does it need the gory bomb bit? Not really, but does it make it a bit better because of a ripcord kind of action?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I literally wrote the same thing as well. It's just a weird setup for a knee to the head.
Yeah.
It's like the furthest away a head could be to a knee, but then we somehow get there. Again, it's all right. I think it's unnecessary, the gory bomb position bit. But I guess it's cool in that she's found a way to transition into a knee to the head. Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because lots of wrestlers, especially in AEW, do knees to the head, don't they? Kenny Omega being one that springs straight to mind, the Young Bucks as well. So for her to try and make it different, all credit to her. But I would say with her sort of repertoire, surely there's some sort of horrible Muay Thai wizardry with the feet that we've never seen before that she could maybe do to kick someone's head off in a similar fashion.
I agree. Like something like that would have been better. Just like I said, the gory bomb stuff just doesn't seem like it needs to be there.
That's the thing. It's still devastating when she hits it because it looks like she's actually hitting them in the face with her knee, which would hurt really hard. But the gory bomb setup, it looks like she's going for something else. And it's a bit fiddly. And it could be better, but it could be worse, Andrew, I guess. I agree with you, Ross. So where are we putting it? Where are you going to put it? It's gone in all right. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, I think that's the best place for it.
Delightful. Brian Cage. I'm turning it to Brian Badonde. Brian Page with the drill ball. Brian Cage with the drill claw.
Keep doing it.
Brian Page with the bill ball. It's a bootlegs into a bit about a bomb, essentially. Translated back into English from Brian Badonde. No, is face jacker a thing in America? I've got no idea.
It might be.
Translated back into English, everybody, or Geordie English, which isn't quite English, but it's almost there. Brian Cage with the drill claw, which is a suplex into a sit-out tombstone, essentially.
I'm dying. Okay, I'm all right.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I can't. Your Brian Badonde impression.
It's terrible, isn't it? Like all my impressions.
It was so good.
Brian Badonde.
The drill claw is a fine looking move, but sometimes he doesn't pull it off the best.
Do you need a second?
I'm okay. I promise. It's a good idea for a move, and then sometimes he doesn't pull it off the best, and it doesn't look fantastic. However, the setup is incredible, especially when someone dives off the top rope
Darby
and he
Allin,
catches them, in the suplex position and then goes for it. But I guess like the driver part of it doesn't look the best. That's all I'll say. What do you reckon?
It's really, really hard, isn't it? Because he's getting them up there, and it's sort of like the transition and then going down in one movement.
Yeah.
I think it's conceptually, that's a big word for me. It's a fantastic maneuver, and it looks devastating each and every time he does it, I think. Even if it does sometimes look a bit sort of like, not crisp.
Yeah.
Not crisp.
I mean, does start. I agree. Yeah, the transition is amazing. Like that's really cool just to see like from a suplex to a tombstone. And when I was watching a compilation earlier today, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. Sometimes, like you said, it doesn't look crisp, but I think the idea is there, and I think when he does hit it properly, it looks so good.
They're not Christmas as well, just sort of adds to the fact that they're supposed to be in a real fight, which is sometimes something we forget as wrestling fans.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Supposed to be a real fight, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it? You know, oiled men out there in the ring. You know, sometimes we forget that it's not fake.
I'll put it in the best. Is that too high for you, or do you want to move it down? Or I'll leave it up to you.
I think conceptually, I think it deserves to be in the best.
Lovely stuff. FTR's Big Rig, as it's known these days, in tribute, of course, to Brody Lee, formerly known as the Shatter Machine, also formerly known as the Goodnight Express, but Big Rig is a fantastic name for it, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
It's a perfect fit for that as well. A big rig. It's a long truck. I guess the way that they set stuff up looks a bit like a long truck.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's just a fantastic tag team. It is. It's quite similar to a 3D in its setup, I guess, but, the 3D is arguably the best tag team finisher of all time, so why not have something that's sort of similar but not quite at the same time?
Exactly, yeah, and it just suits them so well as well, doesn't it? I think it's a perfect, just sort of a homage to classic tag team techers. And they just always pull it off so well. They always make it look incredible.
Best?
Yes.
This best tier is going to be jam-packed, I reckon.
There's so many I've written down, Ross, that have a lot of bests on them.
But now we move on to Brandy Rhodes. That was an awful segue.
That was weird.
I was just thinking best, but now we move on to Brandy Rhodes, whose finisher... Oh, wait. I was going to include the spear, but then I thought everyone does the spear, and Brandy's spear isn't up there with Roman Reigns and people like that.
No.
So we'll go with the shot of Brandy, which is essentially a pump kick.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
It's a pump kick.
It's a pump
fine. Kick. It's it doesn't look amazing sometimes. It looks all right sometimes. But yeah, it's I struggled with this one a little bit because I was like, it's not the worst, but it's not also the best. It's kind of just dwindling in there a little bit. What do you reckon?
This seems like an unfair comparison that I'm about to make, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's like comparing Charlotte Amiobi, right, Andrew? This is a reference you'll get. Charlotte Amiobi's volume to the volume of the great Mark Hughes is world renowned for his volume, okay, from back in the 90s and 80s and stuff. But Test, a simple move like a big boot when it was done by Test, was made to look absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
A relatively simple and sort of widely used move like a pump kick is not made to look devastating by Brandy Rhodes. Therefore, I'm questioning the fact that she has that move as a finisher. When Test had the big boot, nobody made any qualms at the fact it was his... Well, it was nearly his finisher. He did the pump handle slam as well, I guess, but it was up there with his finishing moves because it looked devastating. Brandy needs to make it look more devastating, I would say.
Agreed. And I think... not that it always does, but I think it looks better when bigger people such as Tess do a big boot. It just seems more impactful when someone like that does a big boot. So yeah, I agree. It's
is that the worst? Bearable?
No, it's not. I go for bearable.
We'll go bearable.
It's all right.
Could be better. Judas Effect. This is going to be a controversial one.
I was back and forth on this one. Because I was like, it's cool to have a move that you can just straight bosh out of nowhere. Where's he come from with that? But then it's just an elbow to Ed.
And that would hurt, wouldn't it?
It would hurt a lot. Yeah. I do like it. I do like it because it is just a surprise sometimes, just out of nowhere. And like you said, I mean, an elbow to the head would hurt at full pelt. I guess maybe it's just because it doesn't have the flourish of other finishing moves. But maybe like what you were saying before, it just looks real, doesn't it, when someone gets clocked in the head just out of nowhere with an elbow. So I think, what did I wrote down? I just put noise.
What does that translate to? This tier list thing, is that the best or is that lovely, lovely, lovely? It's one of the two.
I think it is lovely, lovely, lovely. It sounded like I was not in on it then, but I do like the surprise element of the Judas effect.
That's the thing, I just every single I don't think I'm forgetting the time he's made a mess of it, but every single time I think he's hit it, fingers crossed, in AEW, it's just been very seamless in the way he's just sort of it's come out of nowhere, and that's the entire point, that you get smacked in the head with an elbow out of nowhere, and the shock and the devastation and the pain of being elbowed in the head, that's what beats you. And I think it's a great finishing move. It's like, we do get conditioned to expect certain things from wrestling, I think, sometimes. And I think when something comes along that's different, because, people, it's an unfair comparison maybe, but an RKO comes out of nowhere. A Judas effect also comes out of nowhere, but because an RKO is a big showy, like, whoa, wrestling maneuver, and a Judas effect is just that. I think sometimes people might undersell it, but I think it's a great wrestling maneuver, me.
I agree. It did sound like I was down on it before, but then I guess I was, like you were saying then, I was thinking more about the big flourish moves and stuff. But when it comes down to it, and when you think about it again logically, I guess that would be a devastating move, just to pull out on someone. Straight elbow to the face, done and dusted.
When we're all back in the office, whap it out on somebody. Just see what happens.
Who am I going to do it to?
Who do you want to do it to?
Nobody, because everybody's nice.
Come on, if you had to pick someone to elbow in the head, who would you pick to elbow?
No, I'm not going to say that on here, no.
Also, nobody. There is somebody. Is it me?
No, there's nobody. It's not you. My goodness gracious, no, like literally nobody. If I can do it to myself,
it's Owen,
then
I'll
do it. Well, I'm only messing. He's a good lad.
He is. Christian Cage, who, as we're sat here right now, which is Wednesday, I forget which day it is these days, Andrew.
It's
Wednesday, the 17th of March. That's when we're recording this video. The most recent Dynamite to us, we saw Christian Cage appear in the ring, and he attempted to hit a kill switch, an unprettier on Kenny Omega. So that would suggest his finisher still is the unprettier / kill switch. I prefer unprettier, me. Which do you prefer?
I think I like kill switch. It sounds cool. I like kill switch engage, so that kind of like ties in there, Ross. Like that.
And Christian's fire obviously still burns.
It does.
Because he made his return, being an old man. Yeah, I just think kill switch sounds a bit too like, imagine like you're in class at school when you're like 12 or something. You're writing down potential finisher names. What sounds cool? Kill switch, yeah.
Well,
sounds a bit too teenage for me. Whereas unprettier just sounds weird. So I'll go with that one. But where are you going for this one? We all know what it is.
I think... when I was growing up, I always used to think that's a pretty pants finishing maneuver. And I guess growing up, I don't like the setup for it. The setup is a bit like, but then you get the drama in that though, don't you?
Will he think about it,
will he turn it round and get into there? And then when he drops it, it's a devastating maneuver because he's got his arms. You can't like protect the head there, so you go like straight down on the thing. So I think I'd put it in. There's so many in Lovely, Lovely, Lovely right now, but I think I'd put it there. Where would you put it?
I would agree with that as well, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what else needs to be said there. I think, sometimes that's the thing, isn't it? Because it depends how real you want your wrestling to look in terms of being a stage performance, if that makes any sense once again.
No, yeah.
I don't think I'm making much sense today. But that struggle of getting them around sometimes the struggle has to be there because that's what would happen in a real fight, wouldn't it? But sometimes it does look a bit awkward when you think that wrestling might be just a seamless performance on a stage.
Yeah. Definitely. Like
jazz hands.
Jazz.
So yeah, I'd agree. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But I see what you're saying there. I think it's a great move. SCU, who will go? Well, shall we? What have I gone with? I think I've gone with I could have gone with the best Meltzer ever, the best Meltzer ever, which is it's self-explanatory what that is. It's the best moonsault ever into a Meltzer driver kind of thing. But I think when it's Kazarian and Daniels, which is FCU these days, with Scorpio Sky having left the fold and become a bit of a dick, quite frankly. He's a bit of a dick, doesn't he?
Bit of a todger now, isn't he?
Bit of a pecker, as we said earlier on.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Celebrity Rehab because, first of all, it's a much better name. Why is it called the Celebrity Rehab? There must be a reason out there. Someone in the comments will know. I've got no idea. It's basically a sort of flipping gutbuster code breaker kind of thing. Daniels flips them over. Sorry, Kazarian flips them over.
He flips them, yeah.
Yeah, because Daniels, your good self, he then does a code breaker kind of thing, but instead of going into the chin, sort of chest and face area like Jericho does, he goes into the gut.
Yeah, when we were talking before, this is one of the moves that I was thinking about when I was saying, as if that's not really, we've not really seen that as much as what we maybe could have done, because it seems like a no-brainer to get someone up in that position and flip them over and have someone just like co-breaker them in the gut. I really like this one. I think this is better than, I like the Meltzer driver one, but I like this one a little bit more, I think. What do you reckon?
So do I. I don't know if it's just because it's Meltzer and all that, but I like this one more too. Where does it go? Because again, it's another seamless maneuver, but is it an issue? I'm only mentioning this because I've listened to old people who say that like no finisher should be it like when you're on a wrestling card, you should have your own moonset. You should look at the rest of the card and make sure you don't do the same moves that other wrestlers do on the same card because that matters. Does it matter to you that another tag team that we'll speak about later has the same sort of flippy-do setup that this maneuver does? Because it doesn't. It doesn't to me.
It doesn't to me either. It's kind of the same. It reminds me a little bit of music, right? Like these things have been going on for so long that things are just gonna get done again, and things are gonna be similar. But you take those things that are similar and you put your little tweaks on there and change it a little bit. And I think that sort of goes for this move as well. I think this is a great move, and I don't think it really diminishes anything about it just because, you know, the old people are saying the old people things.
They are, aren't they? Bloody old people.
Bloody old people.
Right then, where are we going? Lovely?
Yeah,
I go lovely. Jam-packed, lovely section. Sam will be losing his nut right now. It's not in that sort of way. I've used the wrong word there. He'd be losing his shit at the fact that this lovely section is going to go to 2 rows. It's the worst thing that can happen in the tier ranking thing because it makes a mess of everything.
Oh, sorry, Sam.
Yeah, but can't be helped, can it? Best friends, strong 0. I'm going to sneeze. Elephant.
Ooh, it's coming.
Elephant.
Celery.
Elephant.
Carrot. Cabbage.
Elephant. Just say elephant, it goes away. Strong 0. Boots to the bum. Pile driver kind of teabagging maneuver.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I always like pile driver package combo wombo type tag team moves, and this one's cool because it's like got him on the back there, and then comes and steps off on the bottom. I think this one's maybe not the best out of all of those sorts of moves. I still think it looks. I think it looks really good.
I always think that Chuck's part on it's almost unnecessary because he looks like he's just having a bit too much fun. Like wee,
but that's the best friends though. They're having fun together. You know.
Maybe it could be construed if we're going to look at things and like how the psychology. Is that? Can we sit here and speak about this sort of stuff? I don't know. Well, the psychology of a wrestling maneuver. Maybe Chuck just going wee and then like a little boop. It's not like a kick, is it? When he stomps down? No, not a stomp. It's more of a boop.
It's like a little tap just before he goes
They're
down.
making a mockery of the opponents before Trent obviously pins the legs back and pins them. I'd say this is quite low down and lovely for me. I still think it's good, but not quite high.
Yeah, I agree. I was like on the fence between like top of all right, sort of bottom of lovely. I can't even say the words properly. But I think I would go lovely. Just because it's the best friends. I like the best friends.
Yep. They are good, aren't they? Cody Rhodes, Crossroads.
Sing the song. Something, Cody Rhodes.
I thought you were going to say
out the curtain, lights go out.
I thought you were speaking about a different song. I'll see you at the crossroads. I'll see you at the crossroads. Who was that? I've forgotten who it was.
That person.
It was a
Cody
band.
Rhodes.
Oh, that's going to bug me for the rest of this video. But we must carry on presenting. So the comments will be going wild now telling me who sang that song. Crossroads. I agree
with that. Talking about the psychology again, great move, because as soon as he locks it in, he's looking around at the crowd and everyone's going berserk when he locks that in, especially when he's a face and you know there's a big win about to happen for him. But just the move it's a weird one. It's never done anything for me, Ross.
It has done sometimes, and it's when people like Pac, who aren't all there, clearly take it because they sort of like they do that thing that wrestlers do where they make a sort of DDT look at maneuver like this kind of is when they take the move. They make it look devastating because they then somehow they get their hands next to their head and have the power to sort of hold themselves there and spike themselves into the mat, but the hands are doing all the... It's marvellous how they do it. I don't understand.
Those crossroads are always the best ones. Yeah. When they do spike, like if it's a bad one and the other person doesn't cooperate, it can look awful. But when someone does cooperate and they just whoop straight up vertical on their head, you're like, oh, that's pretty good.
It's amazing how they do that, isn't it? Like, how do you even... What goes off in your brain when you go to wrestling school one day and think, you know what I want to learn? Is how to sort of like I've decapitated myself, but also using my hands. And the margin for error is so small there, Geordie Pack. Be careful, will you, young man?
silly boy. Come on now.
He's good though, isn't he? Right then, Crossroads. I've got no idea where to put this one. I don't know what my name is or what I'm feeling anymore. And I don't know if that's just because we've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
You know, when you see something so much, it just loses its effect kind of a little bit.
It's cool when he mixes it up a bit and does like an avalanche one or something off the top rope. That's always really cool. But again, that's sort of another one that he can kind of pull out of nowhere if he reverses a move in the right way, like, which I quite like that aspect of it as well. So I'm like, do we make more work for Sam?
Are we going? Well, we're still on one row at the moment, so it's okay at the moment. Shall we go, Lovely? I still think it is a good move. I think it's just me. I haven't seen it for. I mean, it's going on. Wait, is it 10 years or more now? Yeah, maybe longer. Statlander, that lass. Remember her, the alien lass? Boop and all that stuff. Big Bang Theory, which is basically sort of like a package pile driver kind of thing. A tea-bagging kind of... Well, what Trent does...
Tea-bagging?
Essentially a tea-bagging, isn't it, really? Down,
I guess.
Face is down in the crotch. Looks devastating.
She does a little jump as well, and it always looks... That always makes a pile driver look even more devastating. I like it. I like this one.
So do I. It's just because it looks devastating. It always looks like the bounce as well. I watched a few with Chris Statlander today, and somehow she makes the bounce happen.
She makes the bounce.
She makes the bounce happen. Is it lovely, lovely, lovely? Is it the best? That's the sort of territory I'm thinking. Because it does look good.
It does look very good. And out of some of the pile drivers on this list as well, I think it is one of the better looking ones. I might go for the best, you know?
We'll go for the best. Let's look at what's in lovely, lovely. The tier below, we have the Judas Effect, we have the Unprettier, we have Crossroads, we have SCU, we have Angelico's leg thing with his gangly limbs, we have Best Friends, the bin lid flip. Maybe, we'll go with that. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't hate us comments too much. Darby Allin's coffin drop.
Just brutal. Just full weight. Not that there's a lot of weight on that man, but the full weight.
He does jump high, though.
He does. He jumps high and just lands with no sort of consideration for himself, almost no consideration for the person who's about to take it, which I guess it's a good job that he isn't such a built boy that it might hurt as much. But I like the coffin drop a lot. I think it looks it's so simple and looks brutal. And then when he gets it wrong, if he gets it wrong, it's a good looking bump as well. If he misses it and goes through something, which I like.
I'm going to put my devil's advocate hat on, Andrew, and I'm going to throw this at you. Do you care when finishing moves look like they hurt the person doing it as much as it hurts the person they're doing it to?
No.
Me neither. Let's move on. Coffin drop is in. It's... So it does become more special when he does it in hardcore matches and stuff like that, doesn't he? He's doing it through barrels of... What is it, Cracker Barrel?
It was Cracker Barrels, yeah. And I guess... I mean, it suits his gimmick, his personality, I guess, as well. Just like the Daredevil thing. Yeah, the only sort of person who could sort of carry it off in terms of like not caring for their own well-being while doing a finishing move at it. Let's go, Lovely. Go on, Ross. You were thinking then. You were scowling a bit. You were scowling. Lovely. Do you want to put it in bottom of Lovely?
It's in Lovely.
It's in Lovely.
It's in Lovely. Now we have Serena Deeb. Speaking of liquid wrestling earlier on, this is the human embodiment of liquid wrestling. Look at this new thing I've made, by the way.
What's that? It looks like a bin.
So
what is it?
It turns out this part of it's magnetic. So I've got a couple of the stationary pots that we have around the office.
Oh, no way.
I've super glued two of them together to make it the right height. Look at that.
That's amazing.
So now I've got a more sturdy thing rather than having it teetering on that weird plastic thing that I found in the back of the office.
That's so good. Do you know what? I think this is Sam's idea, this one, to get the laptop a bit more level, which I never use. But this is what we've got here to get the laptop level. Just a stack of Cultaholic diaries.
Look how fancy they are, though. Aren't they soft to the touch?
They are very nice.
Delectable.
They are very nice. Some of them have the Undertaker's signature in them, but not this one.
Try and find one. We need to show the people. Because the story behind this is you just signed them from the Undertaker, didn't you?
Some of them had to be sent back as well.
With added value, of course, having been signed by the real Mark Calloway.
I don't think I've got one. There's one on my desk where I've drawn Brock Lesnar and everything.
Andrew works very hard here at Cultaholic.
Yeah, of course.
I'm joking, of course. He does work hard, otherwise he wouldn't be here, basically. That sounded... I'm just digging a big hole here. Serena Deeb, Serenity Lock it's called, where she hooks the arm and the leg, and basically, it just looks like it would hurt.
Yeah, you can't beat a harsh-looking submission move, can you? And that looks, like you said, like it'd hurt.
Yeah, she twists the arm in not a Chinese burn sort of twist. Like, she fully twists the arm, not just the skin on the arm. And then she hooks that, and then she does sort of a half Boston crab kind of thing. And then that's it. That's the maneuver. And
that's the one. And I like that. I think just adding a little bit more, because just a half Boston crab wouldn't be enough, but you get the arm in there. I think she might even like put a knee on it or something as well to like really just dig it in there. I like that a lot. And she's such a good wrestler. She's such a good wrestler.
It makes no sense that she was just a trainer, but like she should have been on the roster, shouldn't she? But then again, it does make sense having the best wrestlers training other wrestlers, doesn't it? It's a weird situation. Yeah.
That is a tough one. But she'd have been so good inserted into like the women's title picture. But here she is now doing incredible things, which is nice to see.
Yes. So looking at submission moves on this tier list already, I think Angelico's is the only one we've done so far. And I would argue that maybe this is a step above, just because it looks like it would hurt your entire side that she's got locked in. I
agree. There's no like, what's the right term? I guess like, is it pomp and circumstance? What the Angelico has with his little spin and stuff. Serena's just straight in there, like straight in there, get you in that lock and you're done for.
Meat and potatoes, I think
that's
they call
the
it.
one.
No couscous here, just meat and some potatoes. Moving on now to Britt Baker and her lockjaw, which obviously started off as one thing and then evolved into the next thing with the glove and the mandible claw. And I'm going to come up with a massive... Where's Pac on this list? Pac is the 49th that we're going to be speaking about today, but we'll do that now. I'm going to say Pac's Black Arrow into the Brutalizer should maybe be... no, because then, it's a 2-for-1 special again. I was about to say maybe Pac's Brutalizer by itself is a step down from Britt Baker's Lockjaw. That's because it's a Brutalizer, but with a mandible claw as well, so it's a 2-for-1 special. And who doesn't love a bargain?
Who doesn't love a bargain, Ross? Being northern boys ourselves, that's all we look for.
I know.
It's
that's
a good
why I
old
shop
bargain.
at Iceland.
That's it. But I agree. Brutalizer's great. It's a great finisher maneuver, but with the added mandible claw in there, like,
That's the thing, because I've just completely forgotten somehow that War Geordie Pac sets up his Brutalizer by doing the Black Arrow, which sort of nullifies the argument I've just made. But if we're just looking at the Lockjaw and the Brutalizer on their own, which now means nothing because that's not how the finisher works, of course, when it comes to Pac, I'd say Britt Baker's is better because it's 2-for-1. So that's an irrelevant discussion I've just brought up there. So I'm going to say top tier for this one.
I'm going to, I put that down anyway. Yeah, top tier for this one.
I think it's fantastic. Yeah. Is there any more to be said there?
Not really. And again, it's another one that just fits into the gimmick so perfectly, doesn't it? And it's not even really a gimmick. That is just who she is. A dentist.
She's a what?
She's a dentist. A dental.
No,
person.
She can't be.
She is.
She can't be a wrestler and a dentist.
She's a wrestler and a dental.
She can't be a
lady.
wrestling dentist.
She is.
She can't be. I'm not having it. No one's ever said this before, have they? That Britt Baker's a dentist?
No.
They say it all the time, don't they? DMD and all that. I guess you would, wouldn't you? It's an impressive thing becoming a dentist. Yeah. I'm sure it's very hard to do.
That's why she's duh.
Eddie Kingston we're moving on to now, Andrew, who does the Hurricane, I think it's pronounced, which is basically a spinning back punch.
I like this move a lot.
Is it because of the name?
Yeah, because I can't pronounce that either. But, like, it's just like the Judas effect. I think it looks more devastating. If you see his stuff, I know we're talking about AEW right now, but if you see his stuff in the indies where he's pulling that move off, oh my God, it looks like he actually full-on knocks people out. It's devastating.
It is.
And I think I like it a little bit more than the Judas effect.
So maybe. Are you saying same tier in terms of a little bit more, or are you saying a tier above in terms of a little bit more?
Ooh, I'd say tier above. What would you say?
I'd agree.
You tell me yours. Yeah,
I'd agree, because if you just do that, like in the air, and just imagine like that bit of your fist connecting with your chin, it would really, really hurt.
Done.
It would really, really hurt. I would argue that maybe it's on the same level as a Judas effect in terms of how devastating it looks, but I'll just take what you say, Andrew, and I'll go with it. Why not?
You've got more experience, Ross. Don't do this to me.
More experience at what? Wrestling?
Well, it's just, yeah.
Yes, that's a thing. That's true. I think, yeah, I'll go with it. It's one of the top tier speaks. I can live with it being in the top tier. Penelope, who does the perfect plex as her finisher.
It's all right.
It is all right.
Can't go wrong with a nice fisherman suplex perfect plex, can you?
It's a thinking maneuver, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's not necessarily the most devastating maneuver, but just doing a move and then pinning immediately and locking you down.
Again.
So it's a thinking maneuver.
Like
Shanna.
Yeah, from Shanna's before. And again, my argument would be doesn't always look the best. And it's called a perfect plex. Perfect plex. It should be perfect. No, I'm only kidding. But again, like you were saying, it makes it look a bit more real, I guess, as well. And it is just a thinking one. Just go on, get him straight through, hook the leg, done and dusted.
Can't get out. Where are we going, though? Have I put... Because I was going to suggest maybe lovely, 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 but that might just be me putting rose-tinted glasses on and thinking of Kurt Hennig.
Ooh. Where did we put Shanna's?
Shanna's is in all right.
It's better than Shanna's, I think.
I'd agree with that as well. It's a perfect plex. Well, I guess to call it what it actually is, maybe a fisherman's suplex.
Yeah. And I guess maybe like lower, lovely, lovely, lovely.
It's at the bottom.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Ethan Page, who does the Ego's Edge, which I would put like a razor's edge, but from TikTok, because yeet would be said when he does the throws. My girlfriend says that word all of the time, and it's annoying. Yeet. Yeah, he yeets them. That's the verb here at play. He doesn't throw them, he yeets them.
He yeets them into that other meme, that da 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 da. Where they go into like space or whatever it is.
Around. Yeah, that's an old one, isn't it?
That is. I'm not good at keeping up with my memes.
I guess to bring another TikTok one into it, you could use the Badabama wee. That one.
I like that one as well.
Wee.
Wee.
I reckon this is top 2 tiers, if not top tier. I love this move, and I guess you could. To play devil's advocate once again, I guess you could say, is he going to hit that on everybody? Can he yeet everybody on the roster if he's in there? Who's the heaviest man in AEW today?
Ooh, I don't know.
Taz.
Taz, yeah, Taz.
Could he yeet Taz? It remains to be seen. He's a big, strong boy, though, is Ethan Page.
He's a big, strong boy. For his, like, he's not built like a big, strong boy, but he's got the strength there, doesn't he? Like,
I need to know now, Andrew. I'm going to go on the AEW roster page quickly and find out who the biggest...
Who would it be?
Who would be the heaviest guy on the roster? Luchasaurus is a dinosaur, isn't he?
Yeah. Lance Archer? Wardlow, maybe?
Wardlow, yeah. Look at all you. Look at Eva Luna. Eva Luna's losing a lot of weight. Jake Hager, he's big.
He's a big
Lance
boy.
Archer, yeah. Oh, they've got a thin... They need a Big Show, Paul White.
Big Show, get him up. Go on, Ethan.
I guess Paul White's the answer now. Yeah, it must be. It's either Paul White or Wardlow or Lance Archer, I'd say.
Yeah.
Get a fat lad on, man, AEW, for goodness sake. I'm not being represented here, for goodness sake. But the Yeet Edge, we'll call it. I'd go... It's in the... Well, I'll let you make the call. It's in the top 2 tiers. You're not going any lower than that.
Distance. I was about to swear then, Ross. I was about to say just the flipping distance.
The flipping distance is long. It's a long distance.
It's a very long distance that he just absolutely...
It's a double shot put.
Chucks him. Like a lawn dart, you're gone. You're done. Bullseye. Dead. I think I'm going to put that... I'm going to put it up there, Ross.
Up where?
Up there. I'm going to put it into space where Ethan throws his opponents. I'm putting it in the best. Yeah.
I can live with that. I think it's fantastic, Meg. But again, Ethan Page, of course you're watching. Everyone watches these videos. Do it with Paul White. Private Parties Gin and Juice, which is basically a Hurricane Rana into a cutter. Liquid Wrestling once again. 2 maneuvers being combined to make a one move.
Yes.
And it works.
That's good. I agree. Another example, I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but another example of tag teams coming up with new, impressive ways to combine just things that you might not have thought about before. Like, who would have thought about a Hurricane Rana into a cutter off the top rope? That's
somebody
just so
did.
Cool. Well, yeah, exactly. Somebody did, and it just looks so good. And like, oh yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm just trailing off now, just thinking about it. But
it is weird to sit here and try and analyze these moves when they're all just good.
Yeah,
they're
that's
all
the
good,
thing
but
as well.
in different ways. Like, this is obviously like proper like showmanship, like flamboyant, pageantry, pro wrestling kind of move. Whereas other moves like we've had with Judas Effect and Eddie, and they said Eddie Guerrero there, Eddie Kingston's Hurricane or Huracan, however it's pronounced. They're less so, but it's certainly top 2 tiers. It's got to be.
Yeah. What other tag team moves have we got in there? Tiers there.
We have the bin flip. We have SCU's celebrity. What was it called? Forgotten it completely.
The celebrity rehab.
Celebrity rehab. That's in there as well, and we have. That's it.
Is that it?
That's it in terms of tag team moves. I think that's on par with them. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Let's get it in there. Gin and juice. Do you like gin and juice?
I've only been introduced to gin, so this is the thing, Ross, right? Since working for Cultaholic, I've never really been an alcohol boy. Not that I'm saying we're all giant drinkers here, but there's been more opportunity to drink drinks since coming up here and moving here, and I was introduced to gin recently. In fact, when Adam's house thing went through, we had a Rubicon and gin in the office, and it was very nice.
Thanks for the invite, that's all I'll say. I'm sat up here on my own next door.
No, don't have a go at me.
Nobody likes me, huh?
I do. I like you a lot.
It's Adam. Adam doesn't like me. Anyway, we'll move on. I shouldn't know. I should stay up here. Too many people down there.
Safe. Yeah, that's true.
They're all distanced, by the way. Before we,
we are.
Yeah, they're all distanced down there. I'm up here on my own next door in a different room. We're all completely fine. We're not breaking the rules. I'm not sounding convincing, am I? But we're actually
You're not. You're really not.
I just wanted a gin sent through the wall. That's all I wanted. So where are we up to now? Jake Hager. And I'm not too sure what the name of this move is, but on AEW Dark, he used it once upon a time, and they called it a head and arm triangle.
Fair enough. I think I think for Jake Hager, it's a good move. I think I remember him using. Didn't he use his gut wrench powerbomb quite a bit before?
Yeah.
And that just...
The Hager bomb.
That's it.
The swagger bomb.
The swagger bomb.
I know the swagger bomb's like the Vader bomb in the corner, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And that one never did anything for me. But this one, with like his background and stuff, in all the fighting malarkey, I think this one suits him quite well. I actually like this. It does look pretty devastating. He's a big boy. He locks it in pretty deep. Yeah, I reckon it's good.
You ever been choked?
No, funnily enough.
I have once, and it was awful. I was on a night out at uni at Sunderland, right, in Privilege nightclub in Sunderland. It's no longer a thing. It's a shame. It was a lovely place, and there was a massive fight broke out on the dance floor, and I was just at the side of the dance floor looking on, just watching. And then for some reason, this bouncer, just grabbed me by the neck and had me in a proper headlock, and I was like escorting me out like in a headlock. And as he was getting close at the door, I was I'm going to pass out here. I'm on the brink of like dying. He was choking me good and proper, shoved me down the stairs, and somehow, because I was a thinner man back then, I guess I was able to go down the stairs. I was drunk as well. It was amazing how I made it down the stairs without just falling down. Shoved me down the stairs, and I was like, oh, being choked is horrible. So this maneuver's got to go in the top. That's what I was trying to say here. Because being choked,
all that setup for that.
Being choked is horrible. That's all I'm trying to say.
It deserves, for that story alone, Jake Hager deserves to be in the top there. Then.
And if that bouncer, right, is watching this video, which of course he must be, I'm gonna press charges because I wasn't involved. I was just stood there at the side, but he's seen me and he's just grabbed me by the head and dragged me out. It was terrible. Oh, if I was bigger and stronger, I would have a go.
Can we book it? Can we book a match between you and the bouncer, man?
The bouncer from Privilege in Sunderland back in 2011.
Did you say Privilege not still a thing? We can do it in the abandoned Privilege if it's not still there, just like the match from Revolution with Darby Allin and Team Taz.
Not been to Sunderland for a few years. I don't know what's there now instead of Privilege nightclub. Hey, we'll have to try and work it. I don't want to fight a bouncer. He's a big, scary man.
yeah, you do.
Hager's thing, the head triangle thing.
Get it up there.
Get it up there. We're getting up there.
I think so. I think,
In the best.
especially for Hager. Which other submissions have we got?
We've got Angelicos, and we've got the Lockjaw's in the best. The Serenity Lock's in the best, and that's it. And then Angelicos a stage below.
Maybe Lovely then.
We'll go Lovely.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the. I think we'd be putting it lower down, I should say, if any other wrestler than Hager was using it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that he's an MMA man,
Yeah.
he legitimizes that kind of thing. So I think it's a thing that works.
Yeah, it just makes sense for him to do it, doesn't it?
Joey Janela's elbow drop.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a nice elbow drop.
I think it's a nice elbow drop as well.
Definite homage to Shawn Michaels in there for me, the way he does the arms. Shawn Michaels would do that on the way down, wouldn't
He
he?
does. He gets some nice height in there as well. Can't go wrong with a bit of height.
But again, it's an elbow drop.
Yep, it's just a regular maneuver, isn't it?
It's a shame how the wrestling business changes a lot of moves. I was speaking to Aiden English about this. Sorry, Matt Raywalt, I should say. Formerly known as Aiden English on Straight to Hell. Check it out if you haven't already. It's delightful. It's weird how, because when we were growing up, I don't know about you, but the DDT was merely the Rock's sort of fifth move.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the generation before that, it was the most devastating finishing move of all time when Jake Roberts, and he said Jake Hager there, where Jake Hager would do that move in the 80s. It was the most devastating maneuver. Elbow drop, obviously, way back in the 90s, was a big special maneuver, but now lots and lots of wrestlers do it. It's not as special as it once was.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same for anything. When obviously, I mean, we're from the same time period.
Believe
Ross,
it or not, yeah, we're roughly
like.
Was it 2 years in it or something like that?
27. How old are you?
28, 29 in a couple of months' time.
We both his birthdays are in August, aren't they?
Oh, you went out. Well, what date?
Yeah. Mine's the 9th.
Oh, mine's the 2nd.
Oh, you get yours in before, man.
Yeah, Christ, yeah. August birthdays are weird, aren't they? Let's discuss this on the tier ranking thing. In terms of a tier ranking, right? An August birthday up until the age of 18, it's in the best tier. A summer birthday,
yes,
lovely
without
stuff.
a doubt.
But then you have to start, your pals learn to drive, your pals start going out, and you've got to wait. I mean, I didn't have to wait because I look old anyway, so I used to get in places regardless. But, driving, we'll say. Driving, you have to wait a full year just about to catch up with your pals, and it's frustrating, isn't it?
It's very, very frustrating. I didn't learn to drive till 2 years ago, and I got my test passed. And I just waiting for it's the same as well. Like, right, when you're at school, like you said, it's fine. You get a nice summer birthday. You don't have to worry about going to school next day. But then 4 months later, you've got Christmas, and then you've got to wait again for so long before your birthday comes round. It's rubbish.
Go wait a whole year for your birthday to come round again.
Who'd have thunk it, right? Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, but August birthdays, they're a cruel mistress, they are. They're a cruel mistress. They string you along for 18 years, and then all of a sudden it just goes down to the bin. Elbow drops, though. Where are we putting this one? Is this the bin or is this not quite the bin? I think it's out the bin. Bearable?
I think it's bearable. He does some. I think the good thing about it is he always gets the crowd behind him when he does it. Like in indie shows and stuff. I remember one he did like a Superhuman one, and he was like did all these naughty swearing, flip this, poops, and then does all this stuff. And I like the crowd interaction when there's crowd interaction there for the stuff that he does. But I guess like just on its own, it is essentially just an elbow drop, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and that's a shame, but it still looks good. We'll go bearable. Yeah. Sonny Kiss, who I've got no idea how Sonny Kiss manages to pull this off without causing serious injury each and every time. It either happens off the top rope or it happens off the middle rope, but Sonny Kiss does the splits, crotches the opponent right in the chest. Boggles the mind. It reminds me of when Ray Phoenix, actually. Ray Phoenix did that middle rope suicida thing that he does. And it was a few weeks ago now, but he landed on the barricade, which is obviously the thin metal sort of cycle railing kind of stuff that AEW use. Lands on a crotch first and doesn't even flinch.
I remember that, yeah. I don't understand. What's he got, like a power?
I mean, we all know that wrestlers tuck, and watching RuPaul's Drag Race, I've learned a few things about tucking. But how they tuck must be a special kind of tuck to prevent sort of damage when maneuvers like that happen.
Yeah, do they wear like I know dancers wear those belts, right? Or like some super undies or whatever they are that like tucks everything in.
No
like,
idea what you're talking about, yeah.
Really nice, but yeah, this move is.
It's incredible
like
what it is. It's incredible.
It is. I like it, and as well because it's not just. I mean, it's just it's taking a move like the leg drop that we've known for years and years and years, and doing something new with it, which I really like. I think that's really cool. And then doing it from like the top rope, like you said, I don't understand how he doesn't hurt himself, but boy howdy, he pulls it off with such flair. I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it fits the gimmick that he has. It does look like it hurt as well because obviously it's a human being coming down on somebody's chest. That would hurt, wouldn't it?
It would
in a weird way, but it still comes down on the chest, doesn't he? So where are we going? It's more than just a leg drop, I would say. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just a leg drop. I'd say because he adds the bit from like the ropes and stuff as well. I'd go for lovely, lovely, lovely.
We'll go lovely, lovely, lovely. Why not? We're nearly halfway through the second row. Sam is starting to sweat a little bit harder. Now we move on to women's champion Hikaru Shida and her Falcon Arrow. She's done the deal, this, that, and the other. That's a reference from PWG or something that I still don't quite understand. Someone will let us know down below what the reference actually is. Falcon Arrow for you?
I like a Falcon Arrow. Think it looks cool.
It's another move that maybe I'm a victim of being brought up in the generation I was brought up in because Falcon Arrow for me is just a transitional maneuver.
Yeah, I do get that as well. It's I guess with like when you've got moves like the one-winged angel and stuff, I know that's a bit of a different variation of it. But when you've got a move like that looks so devastating, when someone tries to do something else that's similar, it, like we were saying before, it kind of takes away from it a little bit. It doesn't have the same impact. But I think when she does it, she does do it really well, and it looks really good.
I think she's sort of flipped up her moveset a bit, whereby more knees and kicks are now made to finish her matches. But by and large, in AEW so far, Hikaru Shida's finisher has been the Falcon Arrow. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes Excalibur loses his bananas on commentary when somebody kicks out after she's done the deal and all that stuff. And that reference, once again, it's a weird one, this, because I don't feel comfortable putting it in all right, but in terms of the other moves on this tier ranking, maybe that's where it should go.
I'd rate her knees
higher.
That sounds a bit weird. I'd
rate lovely kneecaps.
Oh, good them. I'd rate her knee strikes higher than the Falcon Arrow. And I might even go with you there and say it may perhaps top of all right.
So in all right at the moment, we have Ty Conti, we have Shanna, and now we have Shida.
Is that good?
All the lasses going. Well, not all the lasses. Britt Baker, Serena Deeb, they're in the Chris Statlander as well, all in the best. I think it's fine.
Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Fight me. Don't fight me. Don't be like the bouncer in Sunderland. John Moxley's paradigm shift. Best, isn't it? Especially when he loses his composure a bit when, things maybe aren't going his way and he's getting a bit frustrated towards the end of a match. Does it a bit higher, doesn't he?
Oh, Ross, where he goes through table with Kenny Omega. Whoa,
the glass coffee
table. Yes, that very real glass coffee table. Unbelievable. Another one, kind of like the Unprettier, you've held someone's arms back, they can't shield themselves from it. It just it looks so good. It looks so good, and it looks devastating, and it suits John Moxley well as well. Yeah, again, just a move that's straight to the point. Got you down, done.
Yeah,
right.
Hook the arms, can't protect your head, basically. Well, that's what we're supposed to think. And then I do like that transition where maybe he just does, maybe in an old Dirty Deeds way, and then towards the end of a match he's thinking, right, I want to go home now and have a cigarette and some whiskey. Let's do it a bit higher to make sure. That's what he does, isn't he? That's how cool he is.
He does. Yeah. All them photos of him backstage, supping his big bottle of whiskey.
Bit too try hard for me then.
Just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit.
Jungle Boy, who did or does a flipping knees thing into the back, and then he transitions into the snare trap, which is an STF-like finisher.
Did we put
best? It's
that
got
one just straight in the best? Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
Do you agree?
Woo! I do
right,
agree.
that's
1,000%. 1,000%.
Jungle Boy snare trap.
I like the knee bit. The STF bit sometimes, because it sounds, I don't want it to sound bad. I guess because it's from Jungle Boy, who's a smaller boy, the STF doesn't look as devastating maybe, but the knees, where he does the flip and then just literally just lands straight on the back with the knees, that looks good. And I guess then that does set up for straining the back with the STF.
Just to counteract your argument there, Andrew. Discussion between two great wrestling minds, obviously. Watch the minds battling all out and all that stuff from that meme. Who's that meme? Great minds. I just sit back. Creed Bratton. Everyone at home is Creed Bratton currently watching us fight this one out. I will say to you that John Cena is a massive man, right? But his STF looked awful.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And I guess I can't really come back with that. I think that is very true, and it was all to do with his faces as well, wasn't it? It was just
not matter. Well, no, it was more the way he was hook his arms, and it just looked like he wouldn't hook his arms properly. He's just sort of like, ooh, rub my forearms on your cheeks. Oh, they feel lovely.
I guess Jungle Boy does actually get in there as well.
And I thought, because obviously the most famous example of Jungle Boy doing this so far is when he locked it on Dax Harwood on Dynamite and Dax tapped out. And I thought, look, because STF, it does look like it would hurt the way you hook the leg and hook the chin and all that stuff. So I think it's a good finisher to use as well, and a nice name as well for Jungle Boy to use the snare trap. Yeah. Because that's when when he's potting around at home, that's what he tries to avoid.
Exactly.
In the jungle.
But I do like the setup to the STF. I think the knees add to it as well. And the knees sell it for me more than anything. But like you were saying, I guess Dax tapping out to it does make it gives it a bit more legitimacy then, doesn't it?
What are you thinking for this one? I
think out of the submission moves, I think we can go like high, lovely. Is Sam getting mad?
We're still on 2 rows.
Territory? Okay.
I'll just put it in lovely anyway. Right. Jurassic Express have a number of finisher maneuvers that they use as a team, but I think the most impressive one is one that, as far as AEW Dark Commentary suggests, does not have a name. But it's when Luchasaurus starts off with the opponent in a powerbomb position. He then goes up for the powerbomb, but instead of coming down, he just throws them over his head. They do a somersault in the air, but then Jungle Boy's there to catch them in a powerbomb of his own. Another AEW Tag Team Liquid Wrestling Maneuver. What would this one be called? We got the bin flip from earlier for the Dark Order. This is more like what do you do over your head like that?
You like
putting on the bed sheets.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking that. Just call it the bed sheet.
The bed sheet bomb. That's what we'll call it.
The bed sheet bomb from That's good.
Jungle Express. As I said, great wrestling minds, Andrew. That's what we are.
Oh man, this one is phenomenal. And when they always come down so hard as well, don't they? The people that get thrown up in the air. I love it so much. It's better than some of the others. Some of the others they have are not the best. But this one is. I think you picked the right one for going for this one.
Thank you. I'm going to say best. I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, I think best without a doubt.
And it obviously wouldn't work if Luchasaurus A wasn't a dinosaur and T wasn't
Rex.
What did I say first? I've gone blank here again. I'm worried about my brain at the moment.
It's all right.
It wouldn't work if he wasn't so big, is what I'm saying. Yeah. It wasn't so high at the release point of his flippy part of the bedsheet bomb.
I like it.
Layla Hirsch, who is, I think, as we're sat here, the most recent signee to AEW. Congrats, well done to her. Get her in Team Taz. What we're waiting for, just get it over with. It's the most logical thing to do. Just get her in there. It's what should be happening. Cross arm breaker, though, which is a move that everybody does. Well, not everybody, but all technical submission wrestlers do. But it's one that would hurt, I imagine.
It is one that would hurt, and she's got the like the technical style down, and I appreciate it when wrestlers, like technical wrestlers, do moves that seem very simple to people, but really that would hurt a lot. I mean, it's an arm breaker. It's gonna hurt a lot, and I like it. It doesn't look. There's no sort of variation on it that makes it look any different from just a regular one that someone else would do. Yeah. I don't think. And for me, that I've written down, it's all right, maybe if she like mixes it up at some point and adds another, I don't know, like another contortion on a limb or something somewhere, then it could like bump it up. But at the moment, I think it's all right. It's an arm breaker.
Ever had one put on you, Andrew?
No. Do you want to?
Well,
try?
when I was on a night out in Sunderland, I only mentioned that because of the way, like you said, it doesn't look any different from any sort of normal wrestling maneuvers. It just got me to thinking when I used to say back at the old job that the full Nelson looked like it wouldn't hurt.
Oh, it does though.
So Joe Hendry, who was sat next to me, was like, "Are you sure about that?" I was like, "Yeah." Just to me, as I said to you, a man who's never really been in a proper fight before. I've had a few scraps in my time, and not a proper like fight. It doesn't look like it would hurt. He's like, "Oh, let me do it to you," and he locked it in, and he just went sort of, and I was like, get it off me now, you horrible man." He's a very nice man, but still, in that moment, it felt horrible. So yeah, this would hurt, is what I'm trying to say. It looks like an ordinary wrestling maneuver, but it would bloody hurt, and it fits a gimmick as well, doesn't it? It's a sort of technical sort of technician.
Just technical.
Where are we going for this one?
I wrote down all right, but is that me being a bit harsh?
I guess does it just? I think it's just coming down to our personal wrestling taste, isn't it? We obviously prefer more flamboyant things, don't we?
I do like the techers though as well. But I guess with the ones that we've put in the best, like the submission moves we put in the best, they are the ones that have variations on things that we've seen multiple times. Yeah.
Buckshot has the flip at the start, which makes it unique. Dark Orders is unique as well. Who else is in there? I'm trying to work out from these pictures. The Awful Waffle, that speaks for itself. The Bill Bar, that speaks for itself as well. FTR speaks for itself. Statlander, Serena Deeb, Britt Baker. Eddie Kingston, I guess, is just a backspinning fist, but
yeah,
it's an Eddie Kingston one. That's what makes it unique.
Yeah.
Then we have the Yeet. Ethan Page. Then we have the old John Moxley paradigm shift, and then we have the bedsheet bomb. They're all unique, is what I'm trying to say, apart from Eddie Kingston's.
Yeah. So I think for this one, probably all right.
We'll go all right. Just Sam's pain can be spared. One more entry potentially. One Winged Angel.
Up there.
Top.
Up there. Yes, I think best. It looks good. It's another one that, even though it's a weird setup, that one feels like it can also be pulled out of nowhere. Like, he's definitely done that before, in that he's just like, what? Got someone up straight away, boom, down, done. Like, it looks so good as well. Kenny always gets them in a position that makes it look like they've really badly landed on like the back of the head.
Probably because
I hope he doesn't. Yeah, I was about to say, hopefully he hasn't actually done that. But obviously it's massively protected.
That's the thing that makes it. That's the thing that makes it. Because obviously, I don't think he's got a bad track record for injuring people, but it's just the lateness of the flip.
Yeah.
And the sort of the angle that they apparently land at. But again, we're sitting here as mere muggles in the wrestling game, having never actually done the wrestling, despite the 10-year career in New Japan Pro Wrestling for me. It's in the best. It's up there straight away. It's fantastic, isn't it? Moving on to Kip Sabian, Deathly Hallows, which is sort of a torture rack kind of maneuver. He spins them round into an X Factor, or whatever Brie Bella's variation was called back in the day.
Yeah. I think this is all right as well.
I would say lovely, mate.
Really?
Round the twist. And they said round the twist there.
Round the strange things happen.
You're getting the sort of the velocity of the spin. You get a bit dizzy and then you get slammed down on your face. It's a bit of a ball tickler, a bit of a teaser, then a full on whoa face first into the mat.
Okay, I put all right, maybe just because of the maybe the payoff of like the X Factor bit didn't do it for me. I do like. Who doesn't like a good torture rack? Again, sounds a bit weird. Who doesn't like a good torture rack?
You're a kinky man, Andrew.
No, come on now. But I definitely can see where you're coming from with like the velocity and also the rotation, and being able to get them from that into an X Factor is pretty cool.
In a way, it's an F5 but different. It's got a spin and they land on their face.
They got an extra slam in there, obviously, with the X Factor bit.
Maybe not quite a bit of... Well, Lesnar sort of gets his arm and then...
A little bit, like...
Rather than just letting gravity do its job.
Yeah.
I guess taking one from Brock Lesnar and taking one from Kip Sabian might be two different things because one's a bit bigger than the other. Nothing against Kip Sabian. He's a beautiful man. I've put it in all right just to please you, Andrew.
Well, I was going to say I can compromise with you there. I think I've said some this time that you've followed on from, but I'll go for I'll go in lovely with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting lovely with me. That's a lovely turn of events. Now we're going for Blackout from Lance Archer. We all know what this one is. He gets them up in the... I need to think of a crucifix position.
It's a crucifix, yeah.
Yeah, not the Jesus position, as I said earlier.
I mean, that's the same kind of thing, right?
And we all know somehow with the arms manages to go that, and then they go up, and then they go up like a pancake. Lovely maneuver.
Like
looks like it hurts. Amazing when he does it to obviously the bigger members that he faces on the roster, but he is a big, strong boy, isn't he?
He's a big, strong boy. He makes it always look so good. And every time he hits it with such force that there's always a little bounce at the end as well that just it just adds to it.
But it's amazing that as impressive as the Blackout is, it's not his most impressive maneuver. It's the bloody moonsault off the top rope that he somehow manages to do. Despite being in his 40s and a massive man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm never a big fan of hosses. They just, even as a kid, they never really did anything for me. But Lance Archer adds that little bit of something new to that role. A little bit of a razzmatazz.
Well, they're jazz hands. Imagine we did that. Just did the flip and then whatever he does at the end of the flip and then, hey! That's impressive. But we're here to speak about his actual finisher, I think we'll say. His default finisher, the Blackout. Where do you say for the Blackout?
I think lovely, lovely, lovely.
I think it's fully and richly deserved.
Bloody good one.
Where could it go? Could it go in the top? He does get them up high, doesn't he? Way.
He does. And I don't think he ever makes it look bad either. I think he always makes it look good. Oh, go on then.
Well, go top.
Yeah, bolt me leg.
Archer's good, isn't he? Now we're moving on. What's next? Matt Hardy's Twist of Fate.
Oh, do it. Do the... Oh, yeah. Oh.
That's the wrong thing,
what was that? That's the one. Do you know what? He's an old boy these days. He still manages to go all out when he does like a side effect or a twist of fate. I think more so than Jeff's looks a little bit weak these days. It doesn't look the best. But Matt still puts his all into it. And I do quite like it. I think it's all right. I think it's all right. What about you?
I think it's all right as well. It's never been a finisher maneuver. I guess now that you've said it, the side effect is more readily used by Matt Hardy in AEW. Come to think of it, I don't think he uses the Twist of Fate too much these days. No. But it is Matt Hardy, and I've just seen his name and put down Twist of Fate. So that's what we're here speaking about, isn't it? I think it's a better move anyway than the side effect, personally.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
But again, it was never a move that really took me. In the world of sort of cutter-ish maneuvers, it's not up there for me, personally.
I guess it makes more sense, though, doesn't it, when he was tagging with Jeff, because then that sets him up for the Swanton. Yeah. So on its own, it is a little bit, not lackluster, but it lacks the special something that comes afterwards.
It might just be like sort of a result of Matt Hardy being around for forever.
Yeah.
Haven't done that move in now 4 decades, potentially, if he's done one this year. And that's crazy to think of, isn't it?
That is really crazy to think of. But, you know, he's still going and he's still doing his bits. That match that he had at Revolution with Adam was pretty good. Adam.
Yeah. Pachiti
with
was
Adam.
There.
Yeah. It was a good match. Like, he proves that he can still go.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah. But I've put it in all right. Just contextually. With the rest of the moves on this list, I think it's a bit lacking these days.
Yeah,
Sound like such a condescending arsehole there. But now moving on to Powerhouse Hobbs, who obviously created all kinds of headlines when he brought the world. I don't know what the official name is, to be honest with you. Again, when watching it on Dark, I watched it twice, I think, in 2 different matches, and both times Excalibur went, oh, he's been slammed into the mat. So I've gone with World's Strongest Slam because obviously it's what Mark Henry used to do back in the day. And it's just in terms of Powerhouse Hobbs and the sort of look and the gimmick and the sort of style he has in the ring, I think it's a move that fits his arsenal.
He does. And he does like some weird little shake when he's got him up in the air as well, which I quite like.
There's a bit more because I don't know if I'm misremembering this, but when Mark Henry would do it, he would always sort of keep them tight to his body. But the 2 examples I saw with Powerhouse Hobbs, he sort of actively moved them away just to create a bit more of a slam.
he gets them up a little bit, and like I said, he does some weird little shake sometimes, and then and then just like brings them down. And I like it. I mean, it is just a basic slam, I guess, but because it's
big man doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's Big Will Hobbs. My goodness gracious me, it makes it look really, really powerful. So I where maybe lovely.
Bottom of lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a very simple move, but then within the context of Powerhouse Hobbs, him being a power and a house.
That's true.
It works, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, Red Velvet, who I think Taz christened this name on Dark, who has the just desserts because of cake, I assume.
Red velvet cake. I get it.
My favourite cake. What's your favourite cake, Andrew?
Red velvet.
Is it actually?
I think it actually is.
Oh, I love a bit of red velvet.
Would you class a Black Forest Gateau as a cake or something else?
I would class that as a gateau.
Well, yeah, but is a gateau a cake? Because I like Black Forest Gateau as well.
I would say no, Andrew, just to set the cat among the cakes.
Okay. Well, I like that term.
Cat among the cakes. Right, what's your favourite cake then? Come on, give us an answer.
Red Velvet.
Red Velvet. Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
Red Velvet is fantastic. But also a fantastic wrestler as well. She proved in that match with Shaq and Jade on Dynamite not too long ago. The Just Desserts, if you don't know, is basically just a Claymore, but a bit different because it goes to the side of the head rather than face on like Daddy Drew does. Thoughts?
I think it's all right. Sometimes it doesn't get pulled off in the best way.
Oh, you're a perfectionist,
possible.
aren't you? If it's not,
I don't know.
I
feel really. Yeah, I do feel a little bit bad being so critical. I should loosen up a little bit. But in AEW, I guess we don't see really like anyone else do sort of like a Claymore kick like that, and I think that's really cool.
Where do you want to put it?
I
think it looks good.
I think it looks good as well.
It's to the side of the face that would hurt. The temple's there. The temple's
That's
there,
true.
and I was always taught that's where the more concussions happen. In my football training, when I used to get taught by a guy who used to play for Doncaster Rovers in the 90s. So if he's saying that, it's got to be true, isn't it?
I thought you were going to say when we were at training, just getting kicked in the head, just continuously. Trying to get my tolerance up.
That's why I can barely speak today. It's just for all the years of punishment to my dome. But Red Velvet's just desserts. And they call it the Claymore kick there. The Cake More.
Cake More.
Cake More. Nah,
that would have been better.
Not working.
Go on, ring Taz
up. Yeah, where do you want to put it? I'm fine anywhere, to be honest with you. It is a flying kick.
I would go...
So it could go anywhere.
It could. It actually could. And I'm thinking either bottom of lovely. Do you reckon?
We'll go there. Next
Yeah.
week. I reckon Powerhouse's Hobbs move should be called the Salt and Shake, by the way.
Ooh.
Just that little shake. Plenty of salt, put on that. Plenty of stank. Bit of salt.
Stank.
Salt and shake. What do you reckon?
I like it. Sounds like them bag of crisps we used to get where you put the salt in it.
What were the point in them?
They were awful, weren't they?
Because you get ready salted, yeah.
You get 2 grains of salt in there.
We must stand there shaking a bag of crisps.
Yeah.
What's the point in that? Walkers, terrible. Anyway,
idiots.
Anna Jay, who does the Queen Slayer. I don't know why I said that. Well, Seth Rollins, that's why I said that. He's the King Slayer. It's basically a devastating rear choke that she locks in, sort of like with an anaconda body clamp thing. I know the fight game. I do.
You know firsthand, you've been choked out by bouncers before us.
Not choked, nearly choked out. I thought I was going to die, but he let me go just before I passed out.
I think you're just too resilient. He didn't let you go. You were just too. I'm not letting this happen.
I remember.
To me.
I was really drunk, but I remember tapping out on his arm, and he still wouldn't let go.
He didn't know the rules.
No.
Does he not know the rules? DQ. Come on, get off.
Right. Yeah. Queen Slayer. Rear naked choke kind of thing.
I never. Every single time I say stuff like this, it sounds kinky. It's not kinky. You can't go wrong with a rear naked choke as a finishing move. It is just devastating. Like once someone locks it in and that's it. Like it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, not all wrestling moves have to be fancy, as we're finding out today, do they? So where do you want to put? Again, this is a maneuver that I guess just depends on your taste, really, because it is a rear naked choke. It's not something unique and new that we're seeing in wrestling, but again, it's something that maybe isn't utilised as much as it probably could be.
Yeah, I agree. And I think for that fact, I think it goes in lovely, lovely, lovely.
That's a shocker.
There's a shocker. That's pretty much every single one, right?
Now we've got a fairly even, kind of an even split between the top two tiers. Yeah, there's
that's all right.
At the moment, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more in lovely than there is the top.
Ooh. Oh, that's not so bad.
Not too bad, really. A nice split. Miro, who still does the accolade, but these days it's called the Game Over.
Yes.
As he likes to say it like that.
Or he just likes to go, game. He just waits for a long time. Over. So this is, I think there's been a slight variation put on this from the accolade days, because the accolade, he would stay in that position. But now I'm finding that more often than not, maybe, he's falling back on himself and cranking that son bitch a bit more. Getting his hands all up in people's faces when he does it as well.
All
just
up
to,
in that grill.
Just to agitate him a bit more.
Yeah, I think it's a step up from the accolade is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
It's not just a camel clutch from way back in the day.
No, it's not. All I can think of is the one where he goes to put it in and he just misses straight away. Then gets it in. Oh, it's funny.
All I'm thinking of now is Iron Sheik's one with Hogan, where he got a bit of a trouser tent, so to speak.
Little bit of a trouser tent there.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Just a bit.
Especially when you do that to Hogan all the time.
Whatever floats your boat, you know?
Hey. Right then. Game over. I can't stop thinking about that now.
For Miro, he's a big boy. It's a good finishing move. He's added a little bit to it from his WWE days, and I like that about it a lot. I think it looks good. It looks devastating when he doesn't miss his arms locking in there. I think it's saying them all lovely, but I think it's lovely. What do you reckon?
I would just with the added variation, I would maybe say it teetering towards the top tier.
Yeah, I guess for a submission move, I guess as well.
Because the picture I've used here for the viewers watching on the old video, this is just based the standard accolade position. But from this position, he sort of falls back on his arse, and that in turn makes the person go like, and it looks utterly devastating. I wouldn't fancy having that locked in at all.
I'll go with you then. I'll go with you
just because the variation puts it in the top tier for me. It looks devastating. Now we're moving on to MJF when he's not using that bloody ring to knock people out with the referee not looking. He uses the heat seeker to finish matches, which is the guy sort of locked up in the ropes, and he uses like a pendulum sort of motion, using the ropes to his advantage to then plant them down for a pile driver. Ooh.
I like it. I do.
I'm saying top tier, me.
Yeah, me too. It's again that I keep saying the word again and unique quite a lot, but it is unique. We don't really see many people in AEW use the ropes in that way, which I like. Something a little bit different, and it's a move that just suits MJF. I think as a person who kind of just like I'll do anything as long as it puts you away, and that just seems like, you know, this guy's draped over the ropes. Oh, I'll just slam his head into the floor then. Like, might as well.
And he is, Andrew, a heat seeker.
He is a heat seeker indeed. If ever there has ever been one in wrestling, my goodness gracious, it's MJF.
Great maneuver. Pulls it off well every time I've seen him do it. It just go a bit quicker because of the pendulum motion, which is the entire point of the move, I guess. Young Bucks, Meltzer driver.
You go first on this one.
I mean, I'd say top tier, personally.
Yeah, me too.
But it's all because of Nick Jackson, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
He's just a flawless wrestler, isn't he?
He's so smooth in everything that he does.
Matt there with his bad back, just riding the coattails of Nick while Nick does all the work and he just takes all the glory. The bastard.
Just everything about this, like the momentum going into the driver and everything, like it looks great. It looks so good, and it's such a cool way to add to a pile driver. I just think that's really, really good. To already add to a move that's devastating as it is, and take it that little bit further, and it's awesome.
I like how it might just be my brain and the way it works, but it sort of harks back to sort of Tully back in the 80s, the sort of elevated, like, because he would help spike them down. But this is like the 21st century variant where there's a flip involved as well. I like the evolution of that move. That's what I like about it. So now we have Riho and her knee strikes. 2 knees to the face. Simple as out. Meat and potatoes.
Meat and tatties. That's what we like to say. Sometimes it looks good, and then other times it looks a bit weak. But I think ultimately you can't go wrong with. You just can't go wrong with 2 knees to the face, can you?
No matter if you weigh 98 pounds, which is burned into my brain because the amount of times that JR would say it during one of her matches. Did you know she weighs 98 pounds? It's not very much, that.
I think Shida's knee is better.
But what about the move?
But
what about the move?
But what about the move?
You said I think Shida's knee's better, but what about the move?
Yeah, daft bugger, you had me going then. Like, what's he on about?
Shida's got lovely knees compared to Riho.
We've already
Riho's got more
that.
creases in her knees.
Oh, stop it. But I think especially for a wrestler of 98 pounds, Ross, mental. Did you know that?
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Good. Right. For a wrestler of her stature as well, I think it's good that she uses her knees like something different that maybe she can't get someone up on her shoulders to finish someone off with or something like that. I think the knees make sense and I like them. I like them.
Whose knees have we had in here before? Have we had a knee maneuver in here before? Because I remember saying earlier on that was a bit desensitized to the old knees. Or did I just imagine saying that?
Maybe we said it for was it the celebrity rehab thing?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that does involve knees to the gut, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm, it does.
Maybe I'm just desensitized to all of the wrestlers using knees. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say here. Riho with the knees, all right. Is it higher?
I think all right.
We'll go all right. Why the hell not? Now we're moving on to Orange Cassidy with the Orange Punch.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's a good Superman punch.
But it's a Superman punch.
It is a Superman punch. But he brings it out of... He's just like chilling in it. He's just chilling most of the time. And then all of a sudden, pow, straight in the head. You're done for.
If I was to say to you, what is his finishing move? Is it the Orange Punch or is it the beach break, whatever he calls it, that old sort of thing, like white noise?
That's a good question, because when I was looking up trying to find his finishing move earlier today, there was like multiple things and people just arguing about it the whole entire time.
A lot of this AEW roster don't have a definitive finishing move. They've got like 3 or 4, which makes more sense when you're a wrestler. If one's not working, you go for something else. But that's not how wrestling works, damn it. Stone Cold had the Stone Cold Stunner and that's it. Triple H had the pedigree and that's it. Hogan had the leg drop and that's it. You're allowed 1 and that's it, you greedy people.
Greedy.
But I would say in terms of Orange Cassidy's finishing maneuvers, this is the worst one. It might just be because I don't like the Superman punch as a finisher. I know it's wrestling, but it just looks a bit too silly for me, even though I like silly stuff in my wrestling. I would argue that his mousetrap pin is the most devastating move he has. You can't get out, can you?
So good. You cannot get out of it. I like that one a lot. I think that's really good. And, again, suits the gimmick for... Cassidy. It looks like he's setting up for something. Oh my God, what's he going for here? And then he just rolls over and pins him. And I think that is perfect for him to pick up a win that way. So I'd rate that one higher than the Orange Punch.
I'm going bearable.
Yeah, for Orange Punch.
Orange Punch. If it was Mousetrap, we'd be speaking about something else completely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, bearable. Are you running out of steam? I'm getting a bit tired, mate.
Come on, we can
let's
do
have
it.
a line of cocaine. I've taken up cocaine, mate, because of our WrestleMania schedule.
It's looking pretty mental, isn't it?
Do you want some cocaine? Adam got a big order in.
Did he?
Yeah, straight from Colombia.
Just straight, what? Can I just do a whole bag in one go?
Just dip your face in and start your day.
To be fair, I don't think people already think I take drugs all the time on these videos, Ross. They're always like, why is he always high? I'm not. I get very hyper. I
wasn't aware of that. Where are we on to now? So we've done Orange... Now, yeah, Proud and Powerful. The Street Sweeper. An elevated blockbuster into a powerbomb combo. Once again, 2 maneuvers into 1. A 2-for-1 special.
Like it. It's a bloody... again, just tag team techers. It just works. It looks good. They always pull it. They always pull it off really well. I don't know what we're going on there. it's hard to say something new about some of the things we've already said on here.
This is it. A lot of it just falls into the same category of fantastic liquid wrestling that always is in sync and always looks fantastic. It's just good, isn't it? It's just really, really good. Is it lovely, 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 or is it the best though? That's the conundrum we have currently.
I think it's lovely, lovely, lovely.
I would agree with that as well.
Yeah.
Is it? No, we got one more to go before we filled 2 entire rows of lovely, lovely, lovely. So the next one in there is crucial. Could it be Pax, Black Arrow, and Brutalizer combination? See you later, Innovator, to bring the Arctic Monkeys into this for some reason.
Well, that's good.
They're from England. Not the right part of England, but, you know.
They are from England.
Yeah, they're from Sheffield, not Newcastle. So, is it Sheffield? It's Sheffield, isn't it?
Yeah, Sheffield, yeah.
Yeah. Wrong part. Should be from Newcastle.
Should they?
Yeah,
Yorkshire, though.
The rich music culture up here in Newcastle. Jimmy Nail.
Excuse me. There's
and the
a
lead singer. Was it the Animals? The lead singer came from Newcastle.
I don't know, but someone from the Animals, right back home, someone from the Animals has opened up a music bar that you can just like go in and chill out and put records on and stuff.
Is it still alive because of the pandemic?
Probably not at the moment.
I hope it survives. I hope all of the bars survive. What am I on about here?
What are you on about?
I
What's
hope all
going
of the
on?
bars survive. Go on, the bars.
He's flagging.
Yeah, Brian Johnston from AC/DC. He's from up here. There's another one.
He is. Yeah, that's a good one.
Ant and Deck, PJ and Duncan. They're also
Can't
from
go
here.
wrong with that. They are the best.
Jimmy Nail, I've already mentioned. I think he's from up here. Who else is from up here that sings? There's got to be more. There'll be more than 4.
You sing.
I sing. I've got 3 Christmas songs on the Cultaholic.
You actually do.
Pax Brutalizer goes in the top tier. Getting back on track. Yes.
Agreed.
Yes. Not as good as Britt Baker's, but also very good all the same.
But with the added flippy dippies.
Britt Baker does that all the time.
Well.
Black Arrow.
Yeah, she loves it.
She does. We'll move on now to Penta's Package Pile Driver. All of the P's. Let's bring in Paul Padonde.
Paul Papombe.
Paul Papombe. Package Pile Driver looks devastating.
Yep, I agree. Do you just say Pax Pile Driver?
Package
Pile Driver. That makes more sense.
Package Pile Driver.
Package Pile Driver.
Package Pile Driver, as the French would say.
I mean, a Package Pile Driver always looks, to me at least, it's one of my favourite moves because it makes it look like someone's about to die. But thankfully, no one actually does die. That would be sad. Always looks phenomenal. Penta always does an amazing job of pulling it off and making it look very, very real. So I'm going to stick that. I think that might even be in the best for me.
It's already in there, Andrew, because like you, it's one of my favourite moves as well. It's one of those wrestler moves that just looks like it shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not, is it? They do it sometimes in WWE, right? But not often.
I remember back in the day when Kevin Owens first made it to the main roster, he would do this sort of, he would get them in, because that's always one of his famous maneuvers from his Kevin Steen days. You'd get them in that position and then go, whoop, we're not allowed to do that one, and then sort of flip them round to a back bump, and it was always a bit like, oh, you cheeky scamp.
You got me.
Yeah, but it's up there. It just shouldn't be allowed, should it? As all pile drivers shouldn't, because they looked utterly devastating. But for Rey Fénix, I mean, take your pick, because this guy has about 1,000 finishing maneuvers. But the one I've gone for, is the Kaniku Buster. I think I've said that right. Kaniku Buster, which sort of, he starts them out in a muscle buster position, because I think that move might be banned in wrestling full stop after what happened with Samoa Joe and Tyson Kidd. I don't know if I'm right in saying that, but it's certainly banned in WWE because of that, I think. I think I'm right in saying that. But he sort of gets him in muscle buster position, and then wizardry happens, and then he gets him on the mat. Have you seen it?
I have. He is like a wizard. I don't think there's any other way of putting it. And I like this a lot. The one thing I don't like about the move is just the setup on the top rope. It's just a little bit
contrived.
Yeah, a little bit faffy, so to speak. Technical terms.
Try and work it out. So you got him in the muscle buster position here, right?
Yeah.
And then how's
he
round there and then way?
He's been to Hogwarts.
Just like that. That is the Kaniku Buster.
I think it. What do you reckon? Do you reckon it's as good as the Package Pile Driver? I mean, after that, I'm thinking so.
Just hit myself in the head with gimmick infringement Kane's hand, and that hurt. I don't know if you could hear me there, could you?
Yes.
That's all right then. Right then, where are we going? What am I doing? Who are we saying? That move there is amazing. That move there should go in the best.
Are we going in the best? Let's do it then.
How does he do it? It's like he is a magician, not a wizard. He is a magician. Secrets. Needs to be a show on Channel 5 with a guy in a white mask going, this is how Rey Fenix does the Kaniku Buster. Harking back to the days of the secret. What was it called? I always forget the name of that show. I used to watch it every week.
I can't remember. The one on Channel 4?
Yeah, it was it Channel 4, Channel 5, the guy in the white mask going, here are the secrets of magic revealed.
I can't remember, but I feel like I remember watching something like that where it was like a circle of magicians just like telling you how stuff was done.
We need one of those, but for Rey Fenix's moveset. Now moving on to Nyla Rose and the Beast Bomb. It's a Batista bomb. Who doesn't love a Batista bomb?
Who doesn't? And she she properly hoys him up, slams him down. I like this a lot. I think it's
so do I.
Great.
Some maneuvers you don't care that they've been done a lot before by bigger names in the wrestling world, you could say, because they're just that good. And a Beast Bomb is a good wrestling maneuver that looks like it hurts each and every time. So, lovely.
Yes, I think so.
We have reached 2 full rows. If there's one more, Sam may actually produce a child out of his being, just out of sheer frustration for the editing process that'll have to go into this video. So with that in mind, let's move on now to Ricky Starks and the Rochambeau.
Yeah. It's like, is it a Dominator Lashley used to do, pretty much?
On the shoulders, flips them round. It's a bit more. I think it's got one more turn, because a Dominator from Ron Simmons, he would just go like, wow. Wow. Whereas, you gotta have them there and then flip them round, wouldn't he? But a Rochambeau, I think it's got one more rotation in than a Dominator. Okay. So it's a bit more flamboyant, but then again, the revolution is televised and all that stuff.
Oh, there you go. I think it's all right.
I think it's a bit more all right, me.
You think it's a bit more all right? I guess with the extra rotation.
Not trying to upset Sam, but I would honestly going to put in lovely.
I see. I was trying to save Sam there. Go on then. Go on then. Get it in there.
We can't put the integrity of the tier list in the back seat just because of the editing process. That's now going to have to go into this tier ranking malarkey. We're on 3 rows in lovely. Sam is now very, very upset. Sammy Guevara's GTH, or is it T-Bar's GTH? You decide at home. What I do know is that Kenta probably, he could take credit for all these kind of maneuvers, really.
Yeah. I like this one a lot, though. This one makes more, this version of a GTS makes more sense to me, having their head, not having to, hoy them that way so they stood up to hit them in the head, but rather, since they're in the torture rack position, their head's already, here, so if you flip them over, the knee's already there, ready to, straight there. I think this is awesome. I think it looks amazing.
I agree as well. Where do you want to go? I don't know what else you say. I'm trying to sit here thinking I should probably say something analytical about this maneuver, even though I've never ever done the wrestling ever. I've only stood in wrestling rings to take pictures.
I still, one of my dreams, Ross, is just to stand in a wrestling ring, which sounds daft.
It's weird, right? Because you don't ever see this on TV. Well, I don't really see it, but it's very, I'm not saying it's padded, but there's a layer of cushion on top, not even a layer of cushion, a layer of foam on top. So it's a bit more squidgy underfoot. It's like a waterlogged football pitch.
Ooh.
That's what I would compare it to. You could take a slam, and it'll be a bit more bearable than it would be if it was a dried out football pitch, because the water would make it a little bit soft underfoot. A waterlogged football pitch.
So you used to wrestle a lot on waterlogged football pitches?
Yes. Yeah. I get choked out by bouncers on waterlogged football pitches. But where are we at now? GTH. It's lovely or best up there in that region, surely.
Maybe low. I'm a sucker for a
low
GTS.
Best.
I'm a sucker for a GTS. So let's go low best.
Low best. Could the best tier also get onto 3 rows? That would be unprecedented, I'm sure, on the tier ranking malarkey. But now we move on to Scorpio Sky's. Well, now, we're sat here now as a heel, Scorpio Sky. He did a heel hook on Dynamite very recently, so maybe that's his finisher going forwards. But currently, officially, his finisher is a TKO, and that is a move.
That is a move?
That is a move.
That is a move.
That is a move done by Mark Miro back in the day.
Yeah.
That is just a move done by wrestlers.
It is.
It's a cutter, but where you have to do the work as well to set them up for a cutter.
Yeah, it's fine.
Which should make it more impressive, really. Come to think of it, yeah.
It should, but again, I guess because when it comes to like cutters and stuff, we think of them almost coming out of nowhere. This one, you've got the whole setup for it, and it kind of loses that excitement of a cutter coming out of nowhere, if you know what I mean. I might not be making
Scorpio
any sense.
Sky's TKO is like having to go to the shops to do the shopping, whereas an RKO, for example, would be like shopping online.
Exactly. Or you're just walking outside anyway, and you think, oh, I'll go for a shop.
Yeah.
It's just like slice straight in there.
Wonderful, wonderful comparisons here that make complete sense. Scorpio Sky's TKO.
I think it's all right.
Yeah, we'll go all right. Scorpion Death Drop. Not Deathlock, but Death Drop. Because as we saw in that street fight that was in a warehouse,
yes,
he did that finishing maneuver. And he didn't do this. Did he do the Scorpion Deathlock? I can't remember. I should watch that match back. I can't remember.
I don't know. He's definitely done that on Dynamite, though, right?
Maybe. I can just when I just think of Team Taz and Sting, I just think it's Sting cutting a promo, Tony saying Sting, and then Team Taz saying, "Whoa, we'll get you soon," because that's what happened every week, just about.
It pretty much did. I'm not a big fan of the Scorpion Death Drop.
Oh, we're gonna fall out now.
Oh no, go on.
You kind of say Sting's one of the reasons I'm sat here today, Andrew. He got me hooked on the wrestling, so he did.
He never. I don't know if it's bad of me to say this, but he never ever did it. He never really ever did it for me, Sting.
Why?
I don't know what it was. I really don't know what it was. And maybe if I was a little bit, not that I'm saying I'm much older than you, because I'm not, but
You're younger.
Didn't really watch a lot of WCW growing up.
Were you a fancy pants who had Sky at home?
I wasn't. I had Heat. I had Heat on Channel 4, and then I had to get videos off my cousin.
You should have been watching Channel 5 on a Friday night, man. I used to go...
I didn't have Channel 5.
You didn't have...
Like, where I'm from, we had 1, 2, 3, and 4. That were it.
You didn't get Channel... Yes. That must... Why is that a thing? Because I remember Channel 5 was always a lot worse in quality compared to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, in terms of having a square TV with no actual HD TV, that was HD TV.
Yeah.
But then Channel 5 always had a bit of static on top of it. That's weird now, come to mention it.
I have no idea why. Probably just like up where we were, like in a bit of a valley kind of thing.
We were in a valley
Radio waves can't reach. Where radio waves can't reach over.
Yeah, where I'm from as well. My hometown's basically... Whoa, I've gone out of focus.
Whoa.
My hometown's a valley, and I'm in the middle of that valley, basically. So, yeah, maybe it must have something to do with that.
Yeah, maybe it does.
I've completely forgotten about that until you mentioned it there. Oh,
but yeah,
childhood.
No, I had Heat, and then when apparently Mae Young got them things out on Royal Rumble, which was the first pay-per-view on Channel 4. That was the one, yeah. So I never got to watch it again.
Oh, you missed out.
Apart from videos.
Channel 5 on Friday night, you had WCW Worldwide for an hour, which had all the highlights of Nitro and Thunder and whatever. And then Fought by Odd was on afterwards. Unbelievable couple of hours of TV.
Oh, my God. That sounds amazing.
So I would go to swimming on a Friday night and then come home and have the VHS out in my TV. Oh, lovely. Sit down with a pizza. Delightful stuff. I miss competitive swimming. But Scorpion Death Drop.
Just never did out. Never did out for me.
I'll let you say where you want to put it, but I'll just let the guilt of the situation.
I'm about to get comments are going to absolutely destroy me.
Go on, where do you want to put it?
I'd probably top of all right. Oh no. Oh, that face. I'm done for. So it was nice being here. Thanks for having me, everybody. It's been lovely to be a part of Cultaholic, but I must take my leave now.
Sting's Scorpion Death Drop is in all right.
Where would you have put it? Lovely.
Thunder Rosa's Thunder Drive we'll move on to now, Andrew.
Oh, I feel like I've done a bad now. I'm going to stick to my guns, though.
I'll see you outside.
That's my personal preference. What's gone?
I'm just messing with you. It's obviously in terms of the other wrestling moves on this thing, it's just not as impressive. But it's just because I'm sat here, having been an 8-year-old who got that VHS with Sting and Goldberg on, and that was what made me fall in love with wrestling. Go back and watch Starrcade '97, not the match, just the pre-match promo. Just go back and watch that and tell me that Sting doesn't out for you. Oh,
Right, I will.
When he stood there in the window with the rain, and he flicked his hair
I've seen
back.
that before.
Oh.
I mean, that
He
is
puts
like
his-
his whole change was cool.
Put
from
his foot
when he was...
on the thing of Hogan's face. Oh, come on now. Come off it.
Damn.
Does a Scorpion Death drop somewhere that night as well? Oh, Bret Hart should never... Oh, we'll not speak about Starrcade 97. Thunder Rosa's Thunder Driver.
I like it.
I think it's all right, me.
Yeah.
It's just because now the Scorpion Death drops in there.
I know. Now we're not going to agree on anything. It's kind of like, what is it? It's sort of like almost a suplex into a pile
side
driver
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've completely forgotten. Come to think of it, speak amongst yourself for a second there, Andrew.
I'm pretty sure it's that, and I guess the setup for it is a little, maybe a little convoluted, a little bit weird, but the payoff of just like a pile driver then dropping
Keep
on
going,
the head
keep going. I'm nearly
is
there.
pretty cool. You're nearly there.
I'm
going to talk about. I'm sorry everybody about not liking Sting. He's all right.
Keep
Good
going.
lad. Good lad, that Sting.
I've nearly
He's got
it.
face paint.
I'm nearly there.
He's cool. Have you
I'm
done
nearly
it
there.
yet? Come on. I'm digging myself a bigger hole.
To be had. There we go. The Fire Thunder Driver, I should say. Right, so she's got them in sort of like a tombstone-ish position. And instead of the head being sort of in the crotch, it's sort of under the arm. And then she just does that. So it's sort of like an elevated Scorpion Death Drop, really. So it's got to be in just all right. Or maybe it's a step above since it's elevated and then just goes down.
Yeah. But now I feel bad wherever I put anything else now.
You've broken my heart, all right.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'll get over it. It's fine. I've put it in lovely, lovely, lovely. I think it is. If you're just looking in terms of the technicals of the move, Scorpion Death Drop just starts down there, but she's got the tombstone and then goes there.
Yes.
There we go. Butcher and the Blades Full Death, a move which never does it for me.
Does that one not do it for you?
And this is just because I'm a bit of an arsehole, okay? Obviously, they do it to keep the wrestler. They're doing it too safe. The fact that Blade's knees never actually really go into the back.
Yeah.
But I'm sat there thinking it could look a lot better.
I think
it always looks like Blade is never quite in the right position. Therefore, the knees never really go in the back. And I know that's why they do it, just to make sure they don't actually paralyze somebody.
Well, yeah.
But I want my wrestling moves to look real, okay? That's all I want.
Now you've mentioned that, I guess. Yeah, I used to. Well, I mean, I do like this. I think it looks really cool. But considering some of the other tag team moves on the list, it's not the best. It's not the best one by any means. And I guess, like you were saying, it's probably to stop no one from actually doing a dead, which is good.
I mean, it's a hard position to put yourself in when you're ranking moves, isn't it? But just looking at the table here, I think it's a step below other moves. So I would go all right, just in terms of the contextual stuff, in terms of that tier ranking table we've got going on there.
Yeah, I'd go. Yeah, we'll go all right. We'll go all right.
It's still a good move. It's not as impactful as other moves, maybe.
Yeah.
But the Butcher and the Blade do have the best theme still in AEW, and I'm sticking to that. And the Butcher's my favourite wrestler, full stop.
Really?
I think he's fantastic, mate. Imagine looking
like him.
He's very good. Imagine looking like him. Imagine just walking down to the pub, right, in Yorkshire, and seeing Butcher sat at the bar. You'd cack yourself, wouldn't you?
You fair would. You actually would. He's the sort of man you'd go down to working man's, and he'd be like, I got some ham off back at Wagon. Do you want to buy some?
What, is he Joe Exotic now?
Yeah.
Imagine getting offered a game of pool by the Butcher. You would say no, wouldn't you?
You would say no.
You're not putting that 20 pence. Not putting that 20 pence down. Never see it again, would you?
He'll absolutely slam you through table. You'd be done for.
You would be. But we're moving on to the final and 59th move in this tier ranking thing. It's been a slog, hasn't it? How has this gone 2 hours just about? I've got no idea.
No idea.
But Wardlow's F10 has got to go in the best, in my opinion, just because of the poo-housery involved. I don't know if you can tell, but we're not allowed to swear here at Cultaholic Wrestling. The poo-housery of it all. Because it's like just, Brock Lesnar's got the F5. I'll do the F10 because I'm Wardlow. I love that poo-housery.
It's so good. And just the power of that boy. When he gets him up and just like... full on just swings them round. It's like they're caught in a whirlwind. Just keep going and then like slam straight down.
Like an F5 hurricane.
Like an F5 hurricane. Yeah, I guess that, that might be where they get it from, perhaps. I'm losing it, Ross. I'm losing it. But yeah, he just does it so much. I think you've put it in the notes as well, but I think he does do it better than big old broccoli Lesnar.
I don't think he does it better. I just think the poo hours you all. It's like, oh, here, Brock, you've got the F5. Well, I'll call mine the F10 because it's like twice as good. I don't know. Yeah, I think Lesnar's F5. I mean, Sean O'Hare's F5. That's another discussion for another day. Ever seen Sean O'Hare's F5?
Yes,
he spins as well.
He
Unbelievable scenes. Sean O'Hare has the best finishing maneuver in AEW. That's what I'm saying.
Done.
Finished.
That's
right.
it. That's the tier.
So that's it. I've put it in the best tier. I hope you agree, Andrew.
I do agree.
But we need to now find out, as if this video hasn't been long enough, who has the best finisher in AEW. So quick fire. I'll try and recognise things from the pictures. The Fatality of the Dark Order better than the Buckshot Lariat?
No.
I'm just going to do this one for you. Chuck Taylor goes straight at the top. That is better than the Buckshot Lariat. Big Rig better than I forgot this name. I've gone blank. Chuck Taylor. What's it called? Save me, Andrew.
The Waffle.
Awful Waffle.
No.
Chris Statlander better than Chuck Taylor?
No.
Serenity Lock?
No.
Lockjaw?
Ooh. What would you say?
No.
No, yeah.
What's it called, Eddie Kingston? The Hurricane?
No.
The Yeet from Heath and Page?
The Yeath and Page?
The Yeath and Page? No? Paradigm Shift?
No.
What do we call it? The Bedsheet Bomb?
The Bedsheet Bomb? No, I think he's got this, in the bag.
Has he? One-Winged Angel?
Oh. What would you say?
I'd say no, personally.
No, me too.
Lance Archer?
No.
Game Over?
No.
The Heat Seeker?
No.
Meltzer Driver?
No.
The Black Arrow into the Brutalizer?
Oh. No, because I think Fingy does it better.
The Package Pile Driver?
Oh,
Pentagon?
Now. What are you saying about that one?
It doesn't matter what I think. I'm just here to present. You're the analyst here, the special mind of wrestling. Come on.
I like the waffle too much.
I like the waffle too much as well. And I like the awful waffle as well. Now we have, who's that there? Ray Phoenix's thing.
Oh,
that thing, yeah. No, stays there. Then we have, what's that picture there? That's Ricky Starks, isn't it? That's Ricky Starks.
Oh, that's Ricky Starks.
The Rochambeau.
Rochambeau. No.
And finally the F10, which is twice as good as the F5.
No, I think...
I'm happy with that, Andrew.
He's done it.
The best
Big old
finisher
Chucky T.
in AEW today is Chucky T's Awful Waffle. And I've got no problem saying that whatsoever. It's a fantastic maneuver. But there we have it, Andrew. There we have it, Christopher Daniels. There we have it, Stu Grayson. It's over. The video's come to an end finally. Any closing remarks? Are you happy with that result? I assume you are.
I'm very happy with that result. I know it might seem like we repeated ourselves quite a lot, but there is only so much I guess you can say about certain moves and stuff. But this has been really good. I can't believe it's gone on for as long as what it's gone on
I'm sorry for keeping you 42 minutes past your clock off time.
It's been a pleasure, Ross. It's been a pleasure.
Make sure you take 42 minutes exactly off. 43 now. 43 minutes off tomorrow morning. Come in at 9:43, Andrew. So there we have it. That's the end of the tier ranking thing. Thank you for joining me today. What a fantastic time we've had. I'm sure you disagree with everything we've said. Let us know how much you disagree in the comments below. But once again, opinions are just like arseholes. Everybody's got one. We've got one. You've got one. And it's completely fine. Have a backbone. Tell us how wrong we are. I'm waffling now. Let's just try and get this to 3 hours, shall we? No, let's not do that. I've been Ross Twiddell from YouTube.
What's
Gimmick
happening?
infringement, Cade's gone. I've been Gary YouTube from Ross. That's what we'll say. So, bye.
See ya.